Hey guys, welcome to the Elephant Challenge. We're going to get going today. I was going to have Carly do some video stuff, but she's having more video issues today. So we're just going to get a crank and skip all the video stuff today. How's everybody doing? Super excited. Today's the day we're going to put you guys on some teams. It'd be so great. And yes, I normally don't wear red, but my daughters and I had a date today and my daughters were wearing red. They asked me to wear red today. So I guess it kind of feels like Tiger Woods action, like a little bit of game day red. We've got some amazing things happening today. We've got my head of operations coming in. We're going to talk about title companies and what title company I think you guys should use in your local area so we can give you guys some contacts of where to open escrow, where they will do these types of transactions, creative transactions, cash transactions, all that kind of stuff. Hey guys, today is definitely not the day to spam any of the chat. Just FYI, today's the day that we're going to go hard on kicking people out that are spamming. Okay. So today is the day that you guys are going to be put on teams, and we're going to get you guys put together. We were going to send out an email, but we wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to get in here and hang out. Okay. So let's make sure that we get this party started. Carly, let's make sure the email's gone out to everybody in the Elephant Challenge. If you don't mind, let's make sure we email everybody in Subto, Gator, Top Tier TC, all that kind of stuff, please. If you don't mind, that would be great. And today is the day. You guys are going to submit some offers. Now, I'm also going to bring up some of the leaders in the Elephant Challenge. Some of the people that Alethea says, I didn't get mine yet. Alethea, are you saying you didn't get your email, or are you saying that you did not get put on a team yet? I think a lot of people have a hard time listening to maybe I should do these for like 20-minute challenges a day. Alethea, how you doing? I can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was checking my email for over an hour and I didn't see anything. And I even posted in the Facebook group that I really want to be on somebody's team. Please
Okay.
put
Yes,
me in, coach.
we're gonna put you on some teams today. Are you an action taker?
Yes, I am.
Cool. Now, if you were gonna run a team, Alethea, am I saying your name correctly, by the way?
Yes, the first person who ever has.
Okay,
I
cool.
haven't had to correct you.
Nice. So, Alethea, I am going to ask you a question. The question is, if you were running a team, would you want people just coming in there and consuming, or people that are action taking and can get over some fears that they have?
I want some to be action takers and to get over their fears. I was a consumer for 3 years.
Yeah, we're done with consuming, right? That doesn't really get us anywhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely right.
Cool. So just so you guys know, we have not sent out the email for the teams. It has not happened. We are going to be doing that today. We decided to wait to give everybody the chance to sign up for Privy and also port over to Privy. So that's going to happen in the next little bit. Okay, Alethea?
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay, no problem. Carly, can you come up here for just a second? If you don't mind, that would be awesome. Um, and we'll chat through the team situation and we'll talk about the schedule for the day. How you doing, Carly?
Good. How are you?
I'm so good. So, Carly, did everybody get an email today for the Elephant Challenge is live and ready to go?
They should have gotten an email. Check your emails.
Well, I mean, they obviously everybody in here has got the email, but
Everyone in here has. I will double check with the team, and if it hasn't gone through, we will get a reminder out there.
okay, cool.
We'll
Spencer
send
said
one more.
okay, Leah says it just came through, and they also had to re-register for today. Is that something that they have to do every day?
They do not. We had we changed the dates. It's kind of a long story, and I didn't show them how to change the dates correctly, and so it's making everybody re-register. So that's another thing.
There we go. That's why we're
We're
missing
learning
about
lots of lessons today. Thank you for your grace and patience.
Gosh. Here, I'm gonna write down the lessons of like next month. Let's make sure we don't have this situation where we're missing 1,200 of our people. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
1,200 people hanging tight going, what is going on? I'm clicking on the link. It's not the right link. We changed the link. Oh, and we have to re-register.
I know.
It sounds like we got to figure it out though.
We do have it figured out. So thanks for hanging in there with us. I'll resend another email. It's a huge list, so sometimes it takes longer for those emails to come through.
Okay,
But
cool.
I'll segment them out. So I'll be backstage if you need anything else.
So let's go through
Okay.
the schedule that you've got set up. I know we made a couple of things. My title rep that was planning on coming in here today, she actually, I think, is battling breast cancer. And so she's been going back and forth at a hospital the last couple of weeks. It's actually stage 4, so it's very serious. And so she still was ready to come in here and serve the community today. She was really excited. But I think she reached out to you last minute and said, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. I've got some medical things that popped up. So
Yep.
her name is Dina, and Dina will be coming on here today. It's interesting that one of our editors would come on to the from the backstage. What was he doing?
Eric? Was it Eric?
No, it wasn't. It was not Eric. I think it was Sean.
Oh,
Oh,
I
you
don't
know who it was? I think it was somebody from Angie's team. That's what
I think it was from someone's from Angie's team, and they accidentally pressed the on stage button. They're in the backstage.
Man, we gotta do some
We
elephant
have
challenge training, huh?
we do. It's like the first elephant challenge. You remember there was so many issues, and by the end we got it all done, and then we took a break, and now the wheels are falling off the wagon.
Yeah.
We'll get it fixed next time. Thank you for understanding.
I get it. I totally get it. Okay, cool. So we've just recently resent out the email. It looks like people are trickling in here. We're missing about 1,000 people. I think on day number 1, we had around 1,800 people. Day 2, we had about 1,600 people. And today we're missing about 1,000 of those people. So
a lot of people.
Yep. How many people just got the email in the last couple of minutes? Give me a yes in the side comments. Okay, a lot of people. All right, got it.
Someone
Cool.
said they got it earlier. I think it's just a huge list. We need to send it out earlier. It worked yesterday though.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's talk about the schedule. I know we've got Molly Tennant, my head of operations, coming in here today. We're going to talk about the process of wholesale escrow and who to use and why title companies are important. We're going to go through that for a little bit. Who else do we have today?
We have Molly. She's going to talk about that. And then we have Angie's team and Dawn Walker's team, Dawn and Mike. And they are in the backstage. They are in the back ready to make calls, answer any questions, anything that you guys might need with them.
You know, I think what we should do today is I think we should have Dawn and Angie. How many people in here want to make their first call to an agent today and actually be put on the live with Angie Milanazzo, Dom, and Dawn? Okay. Daryl says, do you already make teams? No, we have not made teams yet. That's going to happen later today. We decided to push it back because we're having technical stuff. It takes people a long time to do things, you know, it just does. Okay, cool. So people are currently registering. They're trickling in. I think just made my first 3 calls. Absolutely amazing. Good job, Michael. I appreciate that. How many people want to be brought up on the live today to make your first live call to an agent? Give me a me. How about this? Let's say the word. Here's what I want you to do. Type in the word or type this word in. Type this into your side chat, and whoever types this in, I'm going to make sure you get up on the side chat today, or you're going to get up on the stage today. Fort Worth and Dallas are the same thing. Type that in, please. Fort Worth and Dallas are the same thing. Okay. For all you Texans out there that think that they're 2 different places, they're not. Okay. Y'all just saying yeehaw and hippity skippity over there in both cities. Okay. Fort Worth and Dallas are the same thing. Hey, Don Walker, do you see everybody? I didn't come up with it. Apparently, if it's written in the chat that many times, it absolutely is true. All right, cool. So we will have some people do some live calls. I want to submit some offers today. And what we want to do is we want to focus on getting people on teams. Now, I'm also going to talk about what the heck that means, because this is not the last elephant challenge we're going to do. We're actually going to do the next elephant challenge. We should probably do we have the links for the next elephant challenge? We should probably give that to people so they can register for that.
So it is the same one, elephantchallenge.info,
Okay.
to get registered. And if you're registered for this one, everyone's going to have to re-register. But you should be registered for the rest, and you'll get reminder emails. Just a pro tip. You guys are going to get, when you sign up, you're going to get emails from Pace. Do not unsubscribe from those emails. I know that people like to unsubscribe from emails, but there's going to be things that we're going to send out to you We're going to send you random bonuses. We're going to send you reminders. We're going to send you things like Laura's calculator and discount codes, all the stuff that you guys got last night. You'll get replays, all the things. And so many people are like, oh, I didn't get the email. Usually they unsubscribe from it. So that can be something why people don't get them. So pro tip, don't unsubscribe if you want reminders.
Yeah, it does happen. I get people that will reach out to me and say, hey, I didn't get the link. I didn't get this. I'm like, it shows in our system that you unsubscribed. Oh, yeah, I did do that. Yeah, guys, please. All right. So why is this important? Teams are important because we're going to do the elephant challenge every month. It's going to be 3 days every month, all throughout the year. Okay. So this is month number 1. We're going to go all the way through the end of the year and do an elephant challenge. I believe every month, potentially not April, because we have a lot of things going on in April. We have the SquadUp Summit, and everybody's going to be out there at the SquadUp Summit at our industry's largest event. This is the real estate industry's largest, I was going to say expo, but this is not an expo. This is a conference or a summit, I should maybe say. It's a 3-day summit where you'll be able to meet a lot of Subto community members. I think we already have 800 Subto community members coming out. We have, I believe, 300 Gators coming out already, and we have about 100 top tier TCs. So we have about a little over 1,200 people that have already committed to this event that's happening in 90 days. It's one of those events you want to get out to so you can physically meet some of these students, people that are in our community doing deals. We did a survey. We have, out of the Subto community, we have a little over 200 community members that are coming to the SquadUp Summit that are making over $500,000 a year. So think about the ability for you to connect with a lot of those members that are doing big deals. They're netting $500,000 a year. That is the reason why we probably won't do the SquadUp. We won't do the Elephant Challenge in April. We'll actually be at the summit. And that summit is, even though it's a 3-day event, people come in a day early, maybe even 2 days early. They stay a day late. They spend the whole time networking and collaborating with other people in the business regarding creative finance and regarding cash deals and BRRRR and SIR and fix and flip. You name it, everybody will be there. We even have a portion of our community that focuses entirely on multifamily. They'll be wearing a different color badge, but they are in the Subto community as well. They just focus on what we call the Subto Fund. And so people in the Subto Fund will be identified as well. So you'll go, oh, that person's into multifamily. Oh, that person raises money. Oh, that person's a Gator. Oh, that person's a Subto student. So how many of you are non-Subto students or in the Elephant Challenge today? Give me a me. If you're a non-community member, if you're not in PACE's community, say me. Okay. So if you're going to go to an event this year, the event you should go to is SquadUp Summit. Why? Yeah. Okay. We got Grant Cardone speaking, personal friend of mine. Love that. We've got Cody Sanchez speaking, personal friend of mine. That's amazing. We love them. They are absolutely the best at the game. However, the people that you really should be going for are people that are existing community members. You want to connect with people in your community. Now, if you are a Subto student, you are a Gator student, you are a top tier TC student, you want to go there as well to collaborate and work with people and kind of assert your leadership in the industry, so to speak. We originally planned on having 2,000 people at this event. I believe this will be closer to 3,000 people, which is bigger than Clever Summit. Clever Summit had 1,900 people. We are already more than halfway of that event. And we still have 90 days to go. Jonathan says, will there be a cap? Yeah, there is a cap. We can't move that. We can't make this event any bigger than it already is. It will be the biggest in the industry. So what is the site for sign up for the SquadUp Summit? SquadUpSummit.com. I'm going to say that again a second time. SquadUpSummit.com. Okay. So again, you'll see this. Let me go here. By the way, the Elephant Challenge is right here. It's February 14th, 15th, 16th. So let's go to SquadUpSummit.com. And what you'll do is you'll go here and go, why does this internet go so slow? I don't know, but there's a link. Maybe I'll give you the actual link. I don't know why we got such an ugly link. My team loves that kind of stuff. So Jamil, myself, Vina are going to be running this. We've got amazing speakers. This is going to be April 23rd, 24th, and 25th in Orlando, Florida. And do you guys see, does this look like me, Carly?
It looks like an AI version of you.
For
It
real.
looks like you,
I
but it
want to let you know,
doesn't.
I actually did
you're
take
like,
that photo.
You're very airbrushed, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, I
Face-
actually did take that photo. I was going to a meeting where I was raising money. My team's like, hey, can we get a headshot? I was like, sure. And then they put it up on the site and I was like, guys, that's not me. I don't know. Is that my evil twin brother? Like, who is that?
We should put the top hat one then. Just kidding.
Actually, no, I hate that one.
I know you do.
Okay, cool.
kidding.
So you'll be able to meet obviously Astro students, Subto students, Gators, top tier TCs. Vina, actually, we'll be talking about multifamily and raising capital there. We have a Facebook group dedicated to this event, which is great. So you can communicate with my students ahead of time. So we decided we are going to allow about 700 non-students to come to this so that there's people that are like, yo, I want to meet your students. I want to collaborate with them. So SquadUpSummit.com. Somebody's going to go, what's that link? Guys, it's in the side chat. It's this really ugly link. Should take you there really, really quickly. SquadUpSummit.com. And by the way, early bird pricing is will be done on I think it's February 15th. Early bird pricing goes away. So you got 2 weeks to buy your tickets. Okay. Very, very cool. Now we've got, how many people just got the email for joining the Elephant Challenge today? How many people? Give me a yes if you just got your email like in the last 10 minutes. Okay. Got it. So we're missing.
Put that on the list. Lesson learned. Send them
another 700 people or so. Pace, how can I join? Can I sub to my ticket with you? LOL. You know what? Somebody else is smarter than me can probably answer that question. I would email support@subto.com. Somebody way smarter than me could do that. Okay, so Jackie Jones, I'm not talking about the team email, okay? I'm talking about the email to come into the squad or to come into the Elephant Challenge today, okay? I'm talking about that. Isaiah says, should I email support? Guys, I can't even make a joke without you guys thinking I'm serious. Like, are we, Isaiah, you're joking right now, right? My guy? Oh my word. Y'all just like, wow. Josiah. Come on, bro. No. How can I volunteer to help during the summer? That's a good question. I would ask the team. Okay. I would absolutely ask the team. Jackie Jones, Pace, Carly. Oh, thank you, Myron Briley. I'll see you in 2 weeks at the Golden Ticket event. Okay. Isaiah. Oh, that Isaiah Morales. Hey, Isaiah, how you doing?
I'm good.
When you said, should I email support, what were you talking about specifically?
I was talking about the email for the teams.
No, we've been talking about that for the last little bit. Have you been in here the whole time or did you just get the email to join?
I've been here the whole time.
Okay. Did you miss the part where I said we're going to be doing that today and bringing on the teams and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, no, I was just I haven't gotten my email. I was just making sure if I should
Okay,
email
I'm going to
or just wait.
this is a really great thing. Thank you so much, Isaiah. Guys, we have not sent out the email for teams. Guys, let me ask you a question. Have we sent out the email for teams? Okay, perfect. The email I'm talking about is, when did you get the email to join today? John Smith, you've got a question. John Smith, you got your hand raised. Please don't tell me you're one of the people that raises their hand and didn't know you raised your hand. John, what do you got for me today? John Smith. John's like, crap. I think it's interesting how many people raise their hand and don't know they raise their hand. Joyce Torres, how you doing? Yeah, people raise their hand. They have no clue they're doing it. It's interesting. Samin, she actually has really good conversations, really good questions. She is an overthinker. So, Samin, tell me how big of an overthinker you are.
I mean, humongous. I haven't met anyone as big as the overthinker as I am.
So,
It's because you've never met me before. I'm telling you.
oh, hey.
I've been there too. Did you actually have a question?
No, I just wanted to do this for fun.
Mm, I love it. You wanted to tease me, basically.
Yes, there you go.
I love it. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're
And by
welcome,
the
of
way,
course.
great comments the last couple of days. I can tell you the people I really get to know are the people that make the most comments. And so I just want to tell you, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's freaking awesome to see all the comments that you make. Lincoln Wack, while we let people trickle in here today, guys, we got a little bit of a late start because we did not send out the email to people until about 10 minutes after the Elephant Challenge. But I'm just going to do a little bit of Q&A for a little bit. Lincoln, do you have something, or did you just want to?
Hey, how's it going? Good to
What's
see you.
up, bro?
Hey, I had that question earlier. I sent it in the chat, but I could not get the AVR tool to work, or the ARV tool to work. I know you said the instruction was go to file and look for copy to edit. Unfortunately, I don't have that option on my Chrome. I'm using a MacBook, maybe that's why, but it doesn't give me that
Okay,
option.
so you're talking about when you're inside of Privy, you're having a hard time using Privy?
No, the tool that you guys provided us yesterday that lets us do the estimator.
You know what? I'll make sure that you get on a team today that will help you out with that. I bet you it's something really, really simple. I can almost guarantee it. Did everybody else have an easy time getting on the calculator and making it work? How many people got the calculator to work? Give me a yes.
Like
Okay.
50-50.
Yeah.
How many people you couldn't get it to work because a technical error on your side? Say me.
I'm sure it's user error on my side, but I don't know
Okay,
how to
perfect.
get around it.
You know what's? Can I say something that's going to make everybody feel a little bit? They're either you're going to laugh or be pissed off that I'm saying this. We should not be worried about AI. Okay. You want to know why we shouldn't be worried about AI? Because most people can't even download a Google Sheet and use a simple calculator.
I had
Okay.
a feeling that was coming.
We don't need to worry about AI taking over anytime soon. I mean, it would have I think the entire generation of all of us, old fuddy-duddies, me included, we all have to die off before AI to actually work. Because the users will not adopt anything. And we're like, wait, I don't know how to get this calculator to work. 80% of people are saying, hey, I got it to work. The other 20% saying it didn't work. That means that it's a user error, right? So Lincoln, I'll make sure you get on a team today that gets you some help. Okay, brother?
Awesome. Appreciate it, bud.
No problem. But that is a good point. Okay. For all of you guys, it's a good point for all of us to remember that we don't need to worry about AI taking over when all of us knuckleheads, me included, don't even know how to use Google Sheets. John Smith, what do you got for me? If you have a question, feel free to raise your hand. If you don't have a question, don't raise your hand. How about that? Ravanth. Interesting name. Ravanth Matha. Also, if you raise your hand.
Okay, I see. I had to hit the unmute button. Yeah.
There you go.
you
How
hear
do
me?
I say your name?
I just go by Raven like the bird. Nice to meet you.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I live in California and I noticed you've done a lot of your deals in Phoenix. Is it realistic to do subject to in California due to the laws and stuff? I don't know if it is any legal restrictions.
There's not a single state in the United States that there are legal restrictions with subject to. Not a single one.
Great. I love to hear that. And last thing, I did sign up for Privy through the Elephant Challenge. There was no place for me to do a promo code, so I don't know if that was a thing, but I am signed up. So thank you.
Okay, no problem. Here's what I would do. Email, you should use the promo code because today we're going to send out a list for teams. Make sure you email Privy, email support@privy.pro and say, I could not use a promo code. Please make sure I am on Pace's list. The reason this is important is because today we're going to send you out a list of about 10 teams that you can join. And the list is only going to Privy clients. Privy clients that have used the code PACE. It's the only way they can separate the people that are in the Elephant Challenge versus the people that are not in the Elephant Challenge. So Raven, send them an email, support@privy.pro. Listen to me, everybody, because people still say silly things. Support@privy.pro. Now, what am I going to email them? Say, I signed up on your website and you make it incredibly hard to sign up for with Pace's promo code and criticize the piss out of them. Okay.
And say you did it recently on the elephant, you just signed
Yeah.
up, because they'll come back and be like, no, we talked to them. It should be fixed next time though.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Raven. I appreciate that. Nate McClure, perfect. Let's have this conversation. This is good. This is a good warm-up conversation before we actually get started. Nate, how you doing,
I
man?
knew I was getting on with this one.
Yeah, because I want to know the name of the person that said
Oh,
that.
I'll tell you, but do you want me to hold it till later?
No, I want to hear the name. I'm going to write it down.
Okay. It was Lily Sosa that I talked to today.
And what did she said that seller finance is illegal in several states and should be illegal in several, not more because of legislation
Because
coming
of
down the pike?
legislation coming, yeah.
What would be the legislation? You know,
I don't
seller
know.
finance has been like a threat in our entire
For
economy.
thousands of years.
So why would they ever change seller finance?
I agree. I just was like, what states do you know? Oh yeah, I don't really have those right now. So
how'd you get a hold of her?
from the spam chat.
Let's see, Lily, Lily.
Lily Sosa. I can give you her number if you like.
Oh hell yeah. I want her number right now.
Oh boy. Sorry, Lily.
No,
It's,
you should not say things that are not true, right? Like, you know what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
What's her phone number?
Hang on, I'm finding it here.
I'd put it in the chat because YouTube will take down this video if you put a phone number in here.
We're not on YouTube yet.
Yeah, I'll give it in the chat.
Yeah.
I'll get it in the chat for you. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Lily's not going to get Lily's not
No,
going to
you'll talk to her. I know.
I'll be nice to her. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, somebody else put it up on YouTube then?
Eric did.
Oh, Eric did. Thank you, Eric, you knucklehead. Does anyone know how to talk to a bank about due on sale clause? Michael, tell me you're not a sub-2 student without telling me you're not a sub-2 student. Just work with the sub-2 students on it. Okay, there we go. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's make sure, guys, watch what we'll find out, okay? When people say things that are incorrect and you say, can you tell me where you got that information from? What do you think the likelihood is somebody says, oh, well, somebody, so-and-so told me.
Or I don't have it right now.
Or I don't have it right now. Okay, cool. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, I don't know. I just heard it. Okay, well then maybe don't share information like that unless you know, and you can, it's the same thing with title companies. Like if a title company says wholesaling is illegal, I'll say, great. Can you send me a copy of the legislation or the link to the article or something you read? And then they'll just ghost you. By the way, Lily's like one of my favorite names.
Hello, this is Lily.
Hi, Lily. It's Pace. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Good, good. Hey, Lily, I had somebody tell me today that they had a conversation with you and you said that seller finance is going to be illegal in several states. I was wondering if you could send me the legislation or the article that you read about that.
No, I didn't say seller finance. I was talking about wholesaling.
Oh, wholesaling. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you know where it's going to be illegal? Did you tell him what states?
No, I told him I didn't know off the top of my head, but that was the talk of the town these days.
Okay, got it. Got it. Thank you so much. That's all I wanted to make sure. I just want to make sure that was straightened out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, cool. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. She actually is not wrong. Let's talk about this for a second. This is by the way, this is why AI should take over, just so you guys know, because human beings we can't transfer information from one human being to another. Like, are you like Nate, my guy?
I must have fouled that up, but we were talking about seller finance on a deal.
Yeah, seller finance will never be outlawed. It's a homeowner's right to be able to sell their property however they want. It's not illegal. It will never become illegal. Think about the businesses. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize this, but a little over 60%, write this down, 60% of business transactions when people are buying or selling businesses involve some sort of seller finance or subject to. 60% of all businesses that are sold require seller finance. So seller finance will never go away. Think about the thousands and thousands and thousands of businesses that are being sold on seller finance. Think about land. Now, when you look at land development, most land is sold on seller finance. Crazy. Think about apartment buildings. Something around 30% of all apartment buildings are sold on some sort of seller finance. And it's been like that for a long, long, long time. Now, if you look at Puerto Rico, a little over 80% of all real estate that is traded in Puerto Rico, okay, 80% of it requires seller finance. Do you know why? Because they don't have banks over there that can actually do those types of transactions. Okay. Hold on. Let me send let me send a little voice memo to Benson real quick from Privy. Hold on a second. Got to make sure this is straightened out. Hey, Benson, thank you so much for everything you do for the Elephant Challenge. I just want to point something out. You guys are making it really, really hard on your website for people to use their code. One, to save money, and two, so that we know who are the action takers and who are not. I don't know. How many people in the side chat today? Ooh, this is great. Actually, let's do this. I'm going to do a little video for Benson. Okay. How many people, get ready to type in me if this is you. How many people have had a hard time? How many people have had a hard time using the promo code on Privy? Okay, so Benson, just want to point this out to you guys that it's really hard for our clients to make sure they're using the promo code. Can we please make sure that everybody that's signed up underneath the Elephant Challenge is getting taken care of? We keep getting emails today and yesterday about your team not wanting to honor it, and I just want to straighten that out. The reality is they shouldn't have to make you do a promo code. They should just give you the discount. That's the honest thing. That why make people go through 3 extra button pushes? Just make people's life easy. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Carly, let's get rolling. What do we have for, what time is Molly coming in today?
Molly is backstage and ready to go. Molly,
Bring Molly
if
up
you
here.
can. All right, let's get Molly up here.
I know she's got things to do.
She does. She saved the day today. We appreciate Molly. All right. You have to make me co-host. I'm going to reclaim host for just a second.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, she's here.
What up, Molly? How you doing?
Hi. I had to figure out how to get out of the backstage jail that I was in.
Molly, we have our title company that we're starting to work with. And I think that she is sick. I think she's got breast cancer. She got like stage 4 breast cancer now, right?
It's crazy. I just saw her the other day because I had an in-person meeting and she didn't say anything about that. And so, not that that's like a normal thing that you talk about, but I don't know, like we could have talked about how she's doing, like I feel bad when people don't bring up things they're going through because they think they have to be all business. Like, I don't think they understand that we're this way everywhere. We care about people. We want to know what they're going through.
Yeah, I know. And I think that maybe the thought process is like, people don't want to feel awkward when you tell them that, you've got this life-changing situation going on. So shout out to Dina Jones. We love her. She was going to come in here today. So, Molly, do you have not a Miro board, but do you have a lucid chart for a cash wholesale transactions, like step by step?
I have a really cool sort of lucid chart that I talk about, just a standard transaction flow walkthrough.
Let's do that. Would you guys like to see that from Molly today? Would you guys like to see what a standard transaction looks like so you guys can see the steps? A lot of the step-by-step people, you see all the yeses in the side chat. We're going to go through and show you guys what the steps are. Now, this is Molly Tennant. Molly Tennant, by the way, we did not change her last name to match up with tenant because we have tenants. And no, we did not change our bookkeeper's last name to Counts just because she counts all of the money. These women actually do have these last names. Now, of course, when I saw her application come across the desk, I was like, she obviously has to manage our tenants. There's no other job she can do with that last name. But okay, just a joke. She doesn't actually manage our tenants. We have an asset management team that she's in charge of as well. Molly is a dynamic, intelligent, unbelievable human being that helps out with all of our transaction coordination. And she also runs the wing of our community called top tier transaction coordinators, top tier TC. So give Molly a big shout out and a big piece of love. And what we're going to do is go through some basics. Now, Molly, remember, a lot of the people in here in the Elephant Challenge, we've got 1,100 today. The last couple of days, we, had 1,800 people in here. And these people don't even know what EMD stands for. They don't know what escrow means. They don't know what title means. They've never been involved in the transaction. And so going through, Karen says, I do. Well, ironically, Karen, you're the one person, okay, that you don't.
There's a lot. Let's stop. There's a lot of you here. I'm seeing people I recognize in here. I see students of mine in here. I see people with
they're in here to lead, right? But the people, guys, if you are in our community, you obviously know these things. We are talking about the baby elephants that are coming in here for the first time. So remember, okay, remember that we are here to teach them, and you guys are here to be patient as we teach stuff that we already know. Okay, so Molly, without further ado, let's pull up what you got. Let's go through a basic real estate transaction.
Oh, I have been disabled from sharing. I do want to say Nathaniel said he had a doctor that did the anesthesia for his wife's, like when she gave birth, and his name was Dr. Blocker.
Are you serious? That's pretty cool.
That's so funny. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to spotlight you. I'm going to be here with you. You won't be able to see me, but I am still here. You are the main person. So let's go through what a real estate transaction looks like. What we're going to do next, as people are trickling in, still have a lot of people still trickling in. Ooh, look at all these charts. You got Subto deals, lease option deals, you got cash deals, you got Morby method deals, you got all this stuff.
Okay, here we go. Now I'm on the right one, right? It's just the one. Okay.
Love it.
So I made this, you guys, because this is legitimately how every investor looks, this top part right here, where it's, can you see it okay?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. This is legitimately every investor that is new, or anybody that's new to buying properties. They can get that phone call and they're like, what do I do now? I don't know what to do. What do I do? So I always ask, are you using a TC firsthand? That's a transaction coordinator. If you're not using a TC, then everything that the TC would do would be up to the buyer and seller to do on their own. So sometimes that transaction coordination work will be with the real estate agent. So if you have a real estate agent, they maybe will have an on-staff TC, or they themselves will be doing the transaction coordination work. So as we walk through, after you get your contract, the next place you want it to go is to your transaction coordinator, right? And your transaction coordinator is then going to communicate with title and escrow, the seller, and you as the investor or buyer, if that's the role you're going to play here. So I have 4 roles. This is very, very simplified. As you go through more complicated transactions where you have private lenders and you have partners and you have JV agreements, this gets a little bit more complicated. But like Pace said, I want to do something basic, talk to you guys about the basic flow of a transaction. So a transaction coordinator will review everything with you, make sure the file looks complete. In other words, the number one thing that I feel like a transaction coordinator does is they look at your contracts and say, this is the story I'm telling from your contract. Here's the book you have written for me. Here's the story that I'm reading. Is that correct? And a lot of times in the beginning, the transaction coordinator will find out that isn't correct. There's other people involved. There is missing information on that contract. And so they'll help you go back to your contract and say, this is what I feel like you need to go back to your seller and discuss. And so you can finalize your contract, or you need some additional agreements to outline other people that are involved in the transaction that are also trying to get paid on this transaction. The TC then helps open escrow at a pre-selected title and escrow company or a closing attorney. And they'll also request a title report. I'm going to open the chat. Those of you in here that are new, obviously, who knows what a title report is for? Nope. Nina says nope. Nope. No idea. Yeah, cool. All right. So a title report, you guys, is going to show what liens and encumbrances, they call them sometimes, what liens, judgments, any sort of mortgages, loans that somebody has gotten, all of that is going to show up on a title report. So the first thing you want to do is you want to order that title report. And your TC can help you do that. Or if you don't have a transaction coordinator, you will do that. You'll order that from the title company. And yes, it can be the same as the commitment. That's actually a great question, Rosa. Rosa says, is this the same as a commitment? It can be the same, but sometimes you're working with title companies on creative transactions where you won't be provided a commitment for insurance. So the difference between a title report and a title commitment is a commitment to insure. So a title commitment is a commitment to insure. A title report is just a report on the liens and other encumbrances on the property. Okay. So once you've ordered a title report, then we'll go down to this next step where they're going to pull all of the liens. They may also request an ID statement. Does anybody know what an ID statement might be? Nope. No? Okay, I love this. I love this. Okay, so an ID statement, you guys, is something that's going to identify who the person is that currently owns the property. It's going to ask their social security number. It's going to ask what other aliases. In other words, like, do they have other names that they go by? It's going to ask the other previous places that they've lived at. All of that stuff. Andrew's correct. It's called a statement of information in California. Whatever it is called, right? Because these are things that are called different things in other states. They're going to get basically a statement from the seller that says, hey, who are you and where have you lived and how can I verify that the liens that we might find on this property are yours? Because one thing that we'll find on title reports, you guys, is that sometimes people have the same name as other people. Crazy, right? Sometimes they have the same name as other people. And if they have the same name as other people, it can be confusing for that title company to understand whether that person is indeed their seller or not. Yeah, Nathan says, my uncle and all 5 of his grandfathers. Exactly. Was it his grandfather's liens and judgments or is it his liens and judgments? Okay, so after we've requested all those things, we've gotten that figured out. I do have a funny little GIF here that says 75 years later, because depending on, honestly, the title company or what part of the country you're in, these can take a while. The longest I've had a title report take was about 3 weeks. But they can take on average about a week, I would say. So I always feel like it takes forever. I did put 5 to 14 business days here just in case, and always giving people grace because, mind you, this is a manual process. It's a manual process. Somebody is manually searching in this title office for liens that are related to this property and the individual that owns that property. So human error is something I always consider here. And the understanding that if someone's providing you with a commitment for insurance, that's what they're insuring. They're ensuring that the people who work at their office found all of the things that were currently on the title report. Okay, next we go back to our TC here. We're going to keep track of deadlines as transaction coordinators, inspection periods, due diligence dates. We may also request documents from either side, like, hey, if we need some additional information regarding liens or regarding something needed for an ID statement, a transaction coordinator can help move those things along. And then as we get past this part and you get into your reading your title report, you will either get your commitment with the lien report if you're going to get insurance, or you'll get something they sometimes call a limited or special report if you're doing something like an FHA or a VA transaction. And it's a Subto, so that doesn't necessarily have to do with a traditional transaction. But if you're getting a special report without a commitment, make sure they're doing an ID statement or a statement of information, whatever they call it in the state that you're in, to verify liens that pertain to the seller's social security number. This is where it gets interesting, guys. After the title report comes in, a lot of times we see unexpected liens, memorandums, judgments, IRS liens, child support liens, utility liens, HOA liens, and I've seen many more, you guys. And this right here, this, oh, no, is every person at that point. You're like, oh my gosh, no, please don't, right? Please, I don't want to see all these liens. So I, at this point, am usually the one being like, okay, I see this first as the TC typically, right? And then I'm going to go back to the title company and I'm going to say, okay, have we verified that these are related to the person that owns this house? Before I go freak my client out, have we verified that this is actually something related to them? And honestly, like 25% of the time, sometimes I'll have a title company that has sent me something that hasn't been verified. And I'm like, I'm not going to send this to my client. Please go back and verify these and then clean it up. And that right there, you guys, is the act of clearing title. So when someone says they're going to clear title, you have a title company that's going to clear title, they're going to look at the liens and judgments that they find with the same name or the same address associated with it. And then they're going to clear those liens by double checking that that is indeed the property that they're looking at, they're supposed to be looking at, or it is indeed the person that owns that property after doing an identity statement or a statement of information, whatever you guys call it. Once we get through this and we go back to our buyer and our seller and we decide if there's any other negotiations that need to happen based off of the title report, then we're going to notify escrow that we're ready to move forward. Like, hey, everybody agrees. If there's an additional addendum that's needed to adjust anything, go ahead and move forward. We're good to go now, right? But this is the point in the transaction where most of the chaos happens, in my opinion, you guys. You're going to have to go back to everybody involved and you guys are going to have to decide what's going to happen with the liens that are legitimately on the property and what you should do with them. Okay. And then this next part here, your escrow, closing attorney, whoever is working with you are going to prepare all of your legal documents. It's very important that you guys understand a transaction coordinator should not be preparing your promissory note, your deed of trust, your mortgage, or your warranty deeds, or any executory contracts associated with that transaction. The people who are licensed to do so, like attorneys or title companies that have attorneys on staff, should prepare all of these documents, and they are usually set up to prepare them for you. So they'll send the docs back to you guys for review. And this is usually what your TC feels like at this point, just hanging on for the ride. Like, is everybody ready yet? Is everybody ready to finish this? So we'll review settlement statements and all the closing documents. All parties involved here will review all of these documents. And honestly, I would say those of you that are experienced, how often are you having to adjust a settlement statement? Mine is like 90% of the time. Esther says always. Mine's like 90% of the time, you guys, really, honestly. So it's very important to understand that you're not alone. So when you guys get into your first transactions and you get to the settlement statement and you're like, this is all wrong. This is all wrong. Like, and people are getting paid the wrong amount, or the purchase price is wrong, or whatever it is, just remember your title company or your escrow agent or whoever you're working with, your closing attorney, was not involved in your negotiations. They don't know all the details. And so they're just giving you the best they can at that point, and they expect you to review it and they expect you to change it, right? So you have to look at these things, you have to review them. Your transaction coordinator can help you do that, and they will do it by looking at it first, comparing it to the contracts that they have, and then bringing it back to you and telling you how it makes sense to them. For me, if I see something that's like a fee or something that doesn't make sense on the title report, that I'm like, hey, I wasn't expecting taxes to be this high, or I wasn't expecting there to be this additional fee that I don't know what it is, I'll go back to the title company and I will ask them what these things are. I will say, hey, what is all of this on here? Can you explain it to me? So that when I go back to my client, whether it's the buyer or seller, I can say confidently everything that's on that settlement statement. Okay, after we've gotten through the settlement statement, whew, we're through that. Everything's good, right? Then we're going to, this is where we've figured out where mistakes were. The escrow and closing attorneys will usually schedule your notary for everybody to sign, because most of these documents will need to be notarized that they're preparing. But if they won't, the transaction coordinator may also be able to help schedule notaries for you. Then the escrow and closing attorney will share wiring instructions, and the buyer will be able to wire funds after verifying wiring instructions. Remember, you guys, wire fraud is on the rise. If you've ever done a deal with a typical escrow company recently, then you know that that statement is on every single email. Wire fraud is on the rise. They make you sign specific documents. You need to verify not based off of the information that they sent you, but off of the information you've already been communicating with. So in other words, if there's an email attached to all of your threads that has a phone number, call that phone number. Don't call the phone number on your wiring instructions, because those wiring instructions I always question. So for me, I always double check with the information that I have. I call them and I say, I received these wiring instructions. Are these correct? I will verify them as the TC. I will then send it to my client and say, this is the settlement statement we've reviewed. This is the bottom dollar amount that needs to be sent. And these are the wiring instructions I have verified, but you should also verify them yourself. You should also verify them yourself. So nobody should send money without verifying. And in my case, we double verify. Okay. So after everything's done, the buyer will sign closing documents, the seller will sign closing documents, and wiring instructions are verified. All the funds will get transferred, and the executed documents will get sent back to title. Once everything's been verified and funds are received, they'll send a warranty deed to get recorded. And sometimes, you guys, the recording will be back the same day, or they will be, I've had them take 4 weeks. I had somebody say they only got they had to mail it and it would get mailed back to them. They couldn't get an electronic copy. So depending on the state you're in, Oscar, that's such a great question. He says, what's a warranty deed? A warranty deed, you guys, there's lots of different types of deeds, but a warranty deed specifically is how you transfer ownership of a property. So when someone says, I'm the title owner of a property, that means that they've had a deed transferred into their name that shows that they are the title owner of that property. Just like if you had a title to a car, that's your deed. And so a warranty deed specifically is a warranted deed that usually is associated with a warranted transaction. In other words, there's been a full title process, there's a title commitment, everything like that. And there are different types of deeds. There's security deeds. There's deeds of trust that people get confused with. These are all things that I talk a lot about in my TC course for top tier TC. I probably won't talk about them today, but there's all kinds of different deeds out there. A warranty deed specifically is usually what we're seeing transfer ownership in a transaction, including a title company. Okay, then at the end of this, once we've gotten all the recorded documents, the TC will request all the final executed documents. They'll put it in their file and they'll send it over to their client with a pretty bow on it. Not really, but we'll send it virtually to you. I feel like it should have a bow on it. I wish I could send it with a bow because I'm always very proud of my super organized files at the end of a transaction. And then of course, the office meme over here, transaction is closed and everything is good. So let me stop share and let you guys get some questions going here. Pace, do you want me to take the questions that are live in the chat, like with their hands raised? Yes, he said yes. Okay. Corey, what's up?
Hello. Sorry, I had my, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I actually had my hand raised earlier for another question, so I'll go ahead and lower it and let somebody ask specifically something that you're talking about, okay?
Guys, if anybody has a specific question for this, go ahead and keep your hand raised. If you don't have a specific question for what I'm going over right now, go ahead and lower your hand and re-raise it once Pace is back up. Okay. I'm gonna start. John. Do you think it was an accident?
What up, Molly? How you doing?
Hi.
Oh, you're talking about the people that raise their hand?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something. Like, here's the thing, guys. So many people, Molly teaches Subto, she teaches Gator, she teaches top tier TC. Our people are so trained on how to use Zoom. The baby elephants, I can't tell you how many people raise their hand and they actually did not mean to raise their hand.
Yeah.
They don't even know they're raising their hand. So what, guys, if you have a question, raise your hand. Okay, John Smith actually raised his hand again, but when you go to ask him to unmute, he won't unmute himself. John, what's up, my guy?
Maybe he's having There we go. Oh, no, wait, no.
You know, I kicked him off. He wasn't. Nate McClure, what's up, bro? How you doing? You have to unmute yourself, my friend. There's a button you have to click.
I'm still on here from before. I don't need anything.
Okay, hi, Nate. Bye, Nate.
Bye.
Okay, got it. So just FYI, here's what happens. I go over to clear everybody's hands. Like, watch, I'll do it again. And I'm doing it right now. Nobody has their hand raised right now. Watch. Nathaniel Apollos raised his hand. Nathaniel, how you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Did you have a question for me?
Yes, I do.
Yes, thank goodness. What do you got for me?
We're talking about the warranty deed, right?
Yeah.
I'm just, I want a clarification. Does that mean that the house has like a home warranty on it, or does that have nothing to do with it?
Such a good question. That is such a good question. And I could totally see why that would be the thought process there. No, it does not mean that. What it means is that there has been warranted work. The way I like to think of it, and this might be the wrong way to explain it, but there has been warranted work behind that deed. In other words, there's been a full title process, like a title and escrow process that went along with transferring that. Sometimes people will use warranty deeds for other purposes. Like we'll have attorneys that prepare warranty deeds when we're just transferring our property into another entity that we still own the property. But I believe the reason they still use a warranty deed is because that's the same transaction, it's the same owner, and they would transfer ownership with a warranty deed. I won't tell you guys that I'm an expert on deeds. I just know ownership is transferred with a warranty deed, and there's probably other reasons why people would use different types of deeds in other states.
Okay, so it's one of those English shenanigans that's happening where words are the same but mean different things. Okay. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Appreciate you.
Yeah, they do this a lot with all sorts of things like a deed and
a deed of trust or a warranty deed. People get confused about that, you guys.
A deed of trust, a deed, and a warranty deed are all three completely different things.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, it is annoying. It is truly one of those things, like when my Korean friends were learning English and they'd say, what does this English word mean? I'm like, oh, well, it could actually mean like 7 different things. What's the context of it? So it's definitely an English thing. It does suck.
Oh, it's so true.
Good question, Nathaniel. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. All right, John Smith. But just so you know, this is now the 4th time we've let John Smith come up here. John Smith, my guy, did you figure out how to unmute yourself? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye, John Smith. Carrie Daragon.
Yes. Hi. I have a question
Yeah.
regarding the promissory note and the mortgage. If you're in a state doing a deal and it's not an attorney state, it's a title state. I had a TC. I apologize. I'm an agent. I'm a unicorn agent. I've been one for about 25 years, but the TC told me that I had to use an attorney to draw up the promissory note and the mortgage. And this was in a title state. And I wanted to know why I couldn't do it. I used the Freddie Mac and the Fannie Mae's. I've used other TCs. I have a whole bunch of them. And I just have to change the information and send it to them, and then they can have the review it. They would not allow it.
And that probably is somebody from my group that's just trying to follow the rules to the T. And so those of you that are here,
I'm sure it was without a doubt. But I did it with a smile on my face.
Those of you that are here listening to me, this is one of those scenarios. It's like drafting your own contract, right? And you know this, Carrie. When you're drafting a contract on your own behalf, there's no one to blame but yourself if something is wrong, right? Just like if you were to draft your own promissory note and deed of trust, if there was an issue that caused a problem for you later down the road, it would be a problem you created for yourself. So for me, I don't want my TCs doing it. I don't want them to be the third party that doesn't hold the proper insurance if there's a mistake, But if you're doing it on your own behalf and you've done it before, absolutely. Now, have I seen that go astray too? Have I seen people prepare documents on their own and that cause them problems? Of course. But in your case, if you've done this a long time, it goes back to case by case, what your experience is. And in this case, I would be like, yeah, absolutely. You want to prepare your own stuff? Go for it.
Yeah. Well, it actually was for a private lender, and I totally get that it was for a private lender. I was going to send it to him and say, here, check it, do whatever. So I didn't push it, but I just said, well, is that because this is an attorney state or a title state? And she didn't even know the difference. And so
I will say I have had a scenario where the person, so you were the borrower in this case.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have had a situation, and this might be coming from a story I've told my students recently, where the borrower prepared the security agreement and the promissory note, and the attorney was like appalled, canceled the entire transaction, was like, what the heck? Like, that's not appropriate in any world, right? And so it can make you look bad if you're preparing documents to secure a loan with you.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I didn't push it. I said, recommend an attorney to me. They can do it. It's not a problem. But I just was kind of curious about that because, there are states where attorneys have to do everything. And then there are others where they're just title companies. It's not that big a deal. But okay. Thank you. And then I wanted to
right. And think about it this way. I just gave you two different scenarios where in one scenario, I would have been like, yeah, go for it. But in the other scenario, I'm like, I don't want you to look bad, because if there's a mistake, it could look like you're trying to, put things in your favor and that you didn't do things in favor of your lender,
Right. I just use a standard form and standard verbiage. I actually was going to copy one from another deal in the same state but whatever. It's not a big deal. I just was kind of curious about that. And I wanted to tell Pace that the promo code is definitely there on Privy. It's right underneath the credit card.
Yeah.
And it's very gray and hard to see.
Yeah. I just kind of moaned about it to him. I'm like, man, why are you trying to make it so my people can't save money? And first off, why even make them have a promo code? Just give them a better price out of the gate,
Yeah.
I know it's there. I think that they intentionally, this actually frustrates me. I think it's a strategy. It's like, oh, well, yeah, we'll tell Paces people will give them a discount, but we're going to make it really hard on them. And then
exactly. It's obviously not very clear and easy to see. It's not in bright red. Add the promo code. They're trying to hide it.
Why make it so hard for people to do business with you?
Exactly.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Great question, by the way.
All right. Thank you.
Really great question. Well, Molly, you and I can hang out for like another, how long do you have? You have another 10 minutes.
I have like 45 minutes.
Okay, cool. We're actually going to get into like calling agents and all that kind of stuff here in a little bit and getting people on teams, but I like hanging out with you. You get sick of me, but I'm going to.
Oh my gosh. You guys, we had so much fun. Can I do something with you really quick?
Yes.
Okay. So we do in my top tier community, we do confident conversations on Thursdays where we like role play scenarios or conversations we've had. And Ashley, so many people when we get into hiring a TC, and those of you that are looking to hire a TC, it's hard to explain what it is that you do, all the things that you do. Now, I just went through a transaction and I talked about all the things that we do. But when someone is, basically being interviewed to be hired, it's hard to not explain the details that nobody needs to know. So the way Ashley explained it last week was, explain to me why I should hire you to make my peanut butter and jelly sandwich, not how you're going to make my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So can I ask you why I should hire you to make my peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
You should hire me to make your peanut butter sandwich because I have made a peanut butter sandwich for over 1,000 people, and every one of them continually asks me to go back and do it again. I have repeatedly mastered this craft by finding the perfect peanut butter that everybody uniformly likes. I have also found the perfect consistency of jelly and the bread that least amount of people are allergic to, so I can make the perfect peanut butter and jelly sandwich for you.
Do you guys see how he didn't tell me what kind of jelly, what kind of peanut butter, what kind of bread? He just alluded to the fact that he knew how to do it the best way and that he has previous experience with it. This is the hardest thing about when you're a TC and you're getting hired from somebody. You like word vomit, and you guys probably do this to sellers
You know
too.
what's funny is, have you ever asked me that question? I didn't even know you were going to do that. You put me on the spot. I had one moment of anxiety because when you're doing something you've never done before, like a phone call or something, you have like a blip of anxiety of like, oh crap, I'm being put on the spot.
Yeah.
Did I pass your test?
Yeah. And you did it exactly how I knew you would do it. And like we went through back and forth through these things because there will be things you guys were like, you guys will call TCs and they'll be short. You'll feel like they're being short with you. But the reality is that like there's a lot of people just reaching out to get information. If you want to hire a TC, hire a TC. Don't call them to just absorb information from them. They have the information. They can use the information to get you where you want to go. I promise you that. You don't need to extrapolate that information. You don't need to know what type of peanut butter they're using or what type of jelly. They need to know if you're allergic to those things, which they'll ask you those questions up front, but you don't need to know what type or where they're doing it. Let them do their job.
That's really good. That's really good. Dang.
Wasn't it good? I felt like it was appropriate to do it here.
I have to use that somehow, some way, somewhere.
It was good. It was good. I thought it was good.
The golden ticket is coming up in 2 weeks. Actually, I think 2 days from yesterday, or 2 weeks from yesterday. Have you and the TC team been preparing for this golden ticket event?
We have been preparing for this golden ticket event.
I think we're putting some of the top tier TCs up in some of our houses.
Are we?
I think there's the Spruce house and another house we're like putting people up in and just showing the TC some extra love.
So you guys, just so you know, Pace has a ton of Airbnbs out here in Arizona. And every time we have team members come in for anything, I'm always like, have you talked to our Airbnb manager to see which ones are vacant and to see what's available? And then we all come steal Pace's cars and we like take over everything.
That sometimes people come to my house like, why do you have so many cars? I'm like, because people come and steal all my cars. And then I go outside to go to the gym. Like, why don't I have a car? Oh, because half the team is driving them, you know? Sherry Boone says, are there any TCs in Tennessee? Where are the top tier TCs in here? By the way, guys, don't hire a TC unless they're a top tier certified TC. Okay. Do not do it. I had a crazy phone call today from one of the top tier TCs talking about a really random situation. So their seller, the client that hired them, sub-2 student, gets a sub-2 deal. Their buyer on the sub-2 deal moves into the property 4 days prior to close of escrow without telling anybody. It causes this massive domino effect where they had to call the police and all this kind of stuff. So she sends me a text. She goes, oh my gosh, I have this crazy situation. And I go, okay, let's get on a phone call. I'm expecting it to be even crazier. And she tells me, I go, oh yeah, I've had that happen. I had a wrap deal like 7 years ago where I bought it sub-2. I sold it on a wrap. I told the guy he needed to give me $30,000 as a down payment. He kept whittling me down to 15,000. Like, I just don't have the 30. I only have 15. It's all the money I have. So I had a buddy come into town while we're in, I agreed to the 15 grand. I have a buddy come into town a couple of days later and he's like, hey, show me some projects you're working on. I go, oh, I've got this wrap. I've already sold it. And he's like, oh, that's cool. Let's drive by it. So we drive by the wrap. We're like 10 days away from closing escrow on this thing. And, you know, it should be vacant. We're leading up to closing escrow. And I pull up and there's like 30 Hispanic dudes working on the freaking house. They're throwing up cinder block walls. They're replacing the roof. They're pulling the old kitchen out. They're doing tile in the bathrooms. I'm like, what in the freak is going on here? I walk in. I'm like, who you guys work for? They go, the owner. I'm like, I'm the owner. What are you talking about? I go all the way in the back and it's my wrap buyer had his entire family come over to the house and start working on this house. He's like, yeah, I want it done by the time I move in. I'm like, bro, we haven't closed escrow. And I go, by the way, you told me you only have $15,000. Like, look at all this going on. He goes, yeah, of course I only have 15,000. I had to spend all this money on this house. I'm like, my gosh. Anyway, so welcome to real estate. Okay. This kind of stuff happens. I let him deal with it. It wasn't a big deal. I was like, hey dude, I admire the hustle. Thank you so much. This is great. If you don't close escrow, I'm just letting you know, I'm not going to let you come and tear my cinder block wall down now. And, anyway, welcome to real estate. You'll get all sorts of really fun stories that happen all the time. Dawn, what do you got for us? Give me whatever you got as a question, my brother.
I'm unmuted. Good. Excellent. So
there he is. We can hear him.
You know, good. That's exciting. So, I have a bunch of questions. One was, you know, talking about a quit claim deed in reference to these other deeds. Another one is I wanted to defend Benson because, you know, Jamel has 4 or 5 events and he has different codes to put in so you divide privy. Now, if I'm Jamel, I'm going to want to know what event did you join with? Now, that's just, one aspect of that. The other, okay, now you said don't, I live in Boston, so I never really looked around in Boston with Privy. Why, I don't know, but I did yesterday or the day before, and I had to put my ARV to 90% to have a house show up. Nothing showed up me. So I went to I've also have boots on the ground in the Carolinas. So I went around looking for there. Now the other thing is that I have some great properties, I think, that showed up that I would like to make offers on. However, I don't mean to make this to tell a story a little bit longer. I had bought Astro about a year and a half ago, and then I spent the next 18 months in the hospital. And so being a good guy, I made 100 offers over the course of 30 days. I got 4 offers accepted, but I didn't have any place to sell them because I had not created my buyers list. So I didn't want to make offers to people and have I'm opening up a new territory that you can't see. I'm moving my hands around. I'm realizing you can't see me.
Cool. Don, can I jump in here?
Sure. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. You're Bostonian, bro. You can't help it. It's how Bostonians work. I love it. By the way, Boston's one of my favorite places on the planet. A couple of things, guys. There are going to be cities that are like that. If I went down to downtown Manhattan, do you think I'm going to find a fix and flip, like a single family property, fix and flip? It's not going to happen. Same thing with Boston. Boston's one of these magical cities, okay, that are super historic, gorgeous. Tons of big commercial developers are in there. If you're downtown Boston, you're not flipping houses. You're flipping houses on the outskirts, right? So you did a really smart move, Don. You moved to a different market. North Carolina is awesome. Thank you for the mental roadmap. It really actually does help other people to know that if you find an area that is oversaturated in terms of commercial development, there's no single family homes like Manhattan, get the heck out of there, right?
Get
over to somewhere else. Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to tell you, Don, something that I think that most people that are wholesaling or teach wholesaling are missing, and they're not giving the right way to wholesale, okay? Do you know the right way to wholesale? Obviously not. So I'm going to teach you the right way to wholesale is this. Don, I'm going to tell you a story, and everybody else in here, pay attention. Don, if you and I decided to buy into a partnership with each other, we both put in $10,000 into this partnership. The partnership was a t-shirt company. Okay. We're going to go buy a bunch of t-shirts, and Pace, me, the sales guy, right? I'm the guy that will go out and sell these effing t-shirts and maybe like New York Times Square, right? We're going to go out and buy a bunch of t-shirts, and I'm going to sell them. We're going to buy them for $5. We're going to sell them for $20. Sounds like a pretty decent business, right?
Good deal.
Would it be responsible for you and me to just go and buy a bunch of extra large t-shirts in the color red and assume that everybody walking by is a good buyer for those extra large t-shirts at the color red?
Probably not.
Yes or no? You're putting $10,000 into this business.
I don't think so.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay. The answer should be absolutely not. Why would I put $10,000? Would anybody put $10,000 into my partnership if I didn't do market research? Anybody interested in giving me $10,000 into this new business idea? Okay, cool. How about this? This is a even better idea. Don, have you ever been to Beverly Hills or like the nicest parts of Boston, like where like the billionaires obviously live?
Yes.
Okay. What if I asked you to give me money to go and start a used minivan dealership right on the corner in the richest part of the area? Would that be a smart business?
No.
Okay.
No.
What about this? Last question, and I'll get to the point. What if you and I decided to start a Lamborghini dealership in El Paso, Texas? And I would say no offense to El Paso, Texas, but that would be a lie. I'm purposely trying to make an offense to El Paso, Texas, okay? To the one person in here that's from El Paso, Texas. So would you think that that's a smart business move for us to do a Ferrari dealership in El Paso, Texas?
Probably not.
Okay, El
No.
Paso, Texas, the nicest restaurants, literally, I'm not exaggerating, the nicest restaurant they have in El Paso, Texas is called Tacos. What is it? Tacos, the one where they make soup out of it. What's it called? There you go. Chico's Tacos. Okay, Chico's Tacos. It's soup tacos with a bunch of cheese. That's the nicest restaurant in the entire. Everybody's like, you got to go to Chico's Tacos. Okay, it's soup tacos basically. That place is not going to be able to handle a Ferrari, right? So here's what's happening. When wholesalers just go out and blindly wholesale opportunities, they will get houses under contract. Guys, if you are an optimist, here's what I would have want you to heard from Don. Don said I submitted 100 offers. How many contracts did he get?
4.
You got 4. That's
good.
promising.
I
That's
think
promising,
good.
right?
Yes.
What did I say? I said newbies, usually you'll submit 50 offers, you'll get 1 contract. Don got 4. The problem is,
Why aren't we doing deals together?
hold on. Hold on. So here's the problem. You don't have a team of people who already have established buyers and can help
Right.
you with those
Right. No,
contracts.
I got that. Yeah.
Okay. So when you join a course or a mentorship, okay, courses and mentorships were for like $19.99. Those things are outdated anymore. What you need now is you need a community of people who have established buyers. So the teams that we're going to be putting you guys on are going to be telling you, hey, Don, that's not a great contract to send out, or that's not a great price to send out. Our buyers will not be able to handle that contract. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So what we have to do is you can continue to do what you're doing, which is continue to submit offers in North Carolina. But what you need is you need to be a part of a team of trained students inside of our community that are actively doing deals. And that is what we're going to be doing at the end of the day. It will change everything for you. So you can go, okay, so I don't have to worry about the buyers because somebody else has those buyers. And before I send out these offers, I need somebody else to verify that this is an appropriate offer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I
Now,
tell you, we just bought a deal. Pace just bought a deal from someone who got a deal to a student within our groups to Pace. And then we bought the deal, and it was a baby elephant that brought the deal. So I'm always so proud when that actual process happens, Pace, the process you're talking about right now. It's fun.
yes. Alexander Broking says, how do I contact Don? I just click on his name and send him a message. So Molly just said, we just bought guys, but by the way, I will not do a deal directly with a non-student. I will not do it. I did it for 10 years. I don't have I don't have any more hair on my head. This is a toupee. It's all fake. I lost all my hair from the stress. Okay. All these gray hairs, they are real. Okay. So, yes, anybody in my community, I will do deals with you. Okay. So what has happened is I have not moved on, Scott. I have created leaders, thousands of leaders in the nation that will help you do deals. And so what ends up happening is I will buy deals from Baby Elephants when there's a community member involved. Okay. So I've done plenty of Gator deals with non-Gators as long as a Gator is involved. I've done multiple deals, Subto deals with non-Subto students as long as a Subto student is involved, making sure the right TC is hired, making sure the process is done, the seller knows what the heck is going on, all of that kind of stuff. Okay. So, yeah, shout out to Carlton Sheets. He did a good job. He worked his guts out, that poor guy. So, Don, you need to have a team that has buyers. I actually look at disposition and acquisition as actually 2 completely different businesses. And so when people ask me, what did you do in wholesale? I'm like, I really actually owned an acquisition business. And I actually used outside disposition companies to sell most of my deals because I wanted to go out and get 10 wholesale deals a month, not 3. And I wanted to focus on those and that skill set. And then I would have Jamil or some of my students or other people sell my deals for me. And I never really worried about disposition. So for you, you're missing out on having somebody on your actual team. Okay.
Yeah. I want to say briefly that I feel privileged to have been introduced to your community, and I see the support. It's evident. It's obvious. So, and your approach to growing that is extraordinary among people who are doing what you do. So,
Thank you, Don.
Very grateful.
Thank you, Don. I will definitely see you around Halloween time in Boston because that's what we do every single Halloween. We go hang out with you guys out there. It's the best. Jessica Mooney, last question. Actually, I'll go to Nikki Irving too. I have a feeling she has a really great question. Jessica, what do you got for us?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Okay, I have you on two different screens because my internet's spotty, so I just want to make sure I'm not like over like double miking. So my question is for Molly. A few years ago I sold my house and it was my first house I ever bought and sold. I'm an independent contractor. I did all the renovations myself. And one of the things I kind of think I might have needed a top tier TC on is my realtor, I had a solar system on my house. And I didn't refinance the house to have it combined with the mortgage of the house for the solar system payments to be together. My realtor didn't include that in an amendment when they put the contract in. The buyers never signed it. He sent it over, but they never signed it. And so I was responsible for $56,000 worth of solar panels on this house. Now I'm like in my 20s at this point, right? So I'm like, what the heck do I do?
Okay. Was it on your title report though? Like when you pull it up, because here's the thing about solar, you guys, it doesn't always pull up on a title report.
No, it was not on my title report because I didn't roll it over into my mortgage. I kept it separate as a separate loan. I didn't want them to be able to take my house because I bought the house for 70,000 and the solar panels were 56,000, but by the time I sold the house, it was worth 200,000. So I didn't want to roll it into my house and then end up losing my house if something happened where I didn't pay $56,000 worth of equipment. So in the long run, I had to sue my realtor in order to get that money back. And I'm still in the process of doing that. So what kind of steps, I guess that would kind of be something that
Jessica,
would a TC
you're
check
suing
that?
a real estate agent?
Yeah.
You
Yep,
think
I
the
had
real
to.
estate agent actually has any money?
Oh no, it's the actual realty company
Oh, you're doing
that
like
he's
the
under.
error and omissions. Okay, I got it. You're going
Yes, yeah, the
real estate
broker.
agents don't have any money.
Yeah,
You're
the
going after
realty
their
agent
insurance
was going
policy.
under a brokerage, and I actually won by default because I never replied, but I have to wait for the money to come in. I have to wait so many a certain amount of time.
You know what? That's such a great conversation to have. Like that's almost if I wanted to be the greatest scam artist, I would almost just blindly sue every real estate agent and get a bunch of default stuff because they just simply don't pick up the phone.
Yeah, I mean that is true. And my lawyer said that, I won by default and I had to wait a year to collect, but at the same time, we're dual suing for negligence the homeowners because they were actually a real estate agent. And when they moved in, they rushed everything. They moved in 2 days before signing. I wasn't even moved out of the house yet. I still had my personal belongings in there and they were moving stuff in. And then they told me that I couldn't stay at my house because they had their personal belongings in there. And I was like, no, this is my house. You haven't signed anything yet. Like you're leaving your personals here at your own risk because you're wanting to push things. But they were pushing so hard and rushing things so much that there were so many things missed in the contract. So I'm wondering if a TC would have been something like that would have helped with that, been able to double check paperwork, or like I've learned so much with this deal that I'm now coming into this and realizing just how much I could have done differently the first time around.
Hire a TC.
Oh yeah.
And here's an important thing to note, you guys. Solar panels, water softener, like systems, people pay $10,000+ for water softener systems to be installed in their houses. Other like personal loans, like what Jessica's talking about, that stay attached to the property, HVAC liens, right? Sometimes a new roof, right? Sometimes these
Windows.
sometimes these will be personal loans that are, they are mechanics liens essentially, but they don't even show up as mechanic liens. It's really weird. Sometimes they're UCC1 filing somehow. It's very, very weird. I've seen them in like probably 4 different ways. They either are recorded against the property or they're not. But it is very important, you guys, to get a seller property disclosure statement where it talks about all of the things on the property, right? And if you have an agent, your agent will walk through that with you, right? But it is the seller's job to disclose everything that's on there. The buyer then should do an inspection. And part of their inspection would be to say, oh yeah, there is solar panels on this property. And then there's something to say with, hey, are these solar panels owned, or is there a lease attached to them? Or is there, you would want to know if they're leased, because sometimes you don't even own the equipment,
right? Sometimes the equipment doesn't even belong to you. So that is something that definitely should have been talked about during this transaction for sure. Whose fault it was exactly is always up to like a court of law to decide once you get into litigation, but it is something that having an extra set of eyes, like a transaction coordinator, would help prevent. Is it completely preventable? No, but is it something that would be noticed by an extra set of eyes being on the file? Of course, it would be much more likely to be noticed.
Just one more thing I wanted to add, and I'm not going to take any more time. But as an independent contractor, when I was fixing houses under a larger contractor, he had in his contracts that he was legally able to put liens on the home if the people failed to pay for the work that he's done. And that's really common. I'm sure, Pace, you're familiar with it when you work on
Yeah,
houses.
it's called a pre-lien. Yeah, you
they don't
actually legally have to notify them before you start the work that you will do that.
Yeah, because they try to not pay after the work is done, and he's actually had in there that it will double and triple 2% every day that you do not pay it. So by the end, they're like, I would own your house, like everything that you would make off of your house I would be making, like if you don't pay this within a certain amount of time.
Yeah, it's an interesting world. Actually, when I got into being a contractor and I got stiffed by my first client, it happens all the time. You'll get homeowners that will change their mind through the renovation process. They want something extra. You say, hey, it's extra. Then at the end of the job, they're like, well, it took you 2 weeks longer. I'm like, yeah, because you added $30,000 in work. Of course I was 2 weeks. Anybody that's a contractor absolutely hate working with homeowners. Guess what? Homeowners that hate working with contractors too. Do you know what the actual biggest problem with contractors is? Not contractors. It's homeowners that don't know anything about construction and they go blindly add all these things. I can imagine it's probably the same thing in the auto body, like custom, like car world, or people go, oh, I want this, I want that. And it's like, takes 2 weeks longer to get the part. And then you're like, well, that's an extra 4,000. Well, you didn't tell me that. I'm also not the one that added it. You're the one that added it, dude.
Yes.
Anyways.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So, what I ran into is the first lady that screwed me, $30,000. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to file a lien. Guess what? I can't file a lien as a contractor if I did not give them a pre-lien that said in my documents, in my contract, it had to say, I will put a lien against your house, and they have to sign off. It's kind of a crappy thing for contractors, to be honest, but it's a process they have to go through. So then I would lose bids because my estimate would say I will put a pre-lien because I legally had to in order to not get screwed. And then the guys that didn't put that stuff in there, they're like, so this homeowners would be like, wait, you're telling me you're going to sue me if I don't pay you?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, but well, do you think I'm going to sue you? No, but I have to put that in there legally by state law in order for me to find, potentially. But so you're saying you don't trust me? Oh my gosh, F this. You know what's funny? My wife, somebody says to me the other day, why don't you take a day off? And I said, every day I'm not a contractor is a day off. Every day.
Yes. That is so true. I actually did a cabinet job where the guy wanted to add crown molding, but he didn't want me to finish the drywall because there was no drywall on the walls first. And I was like, dude, you can't put crown molding on studs. Like, there's so many different jobs I have to do, So yeah, the worst nightmare is the homeowners. I hate working directly with homeowners. I'm so glad I'm not in there anymore.
Anytime I get stressed out about what we have going on in our business, I just go, thank God I'm not a contractor.
Yep.
For 10 years, I had to deal with homeowners that knew nothing about their own homes, but they wanted to get the $80,000 job for $12,000. Anyway, F homeowners.
Bless your heart, Jessica. Bless your heart.
Jessica, you're awesome. Thank you. Great question. Well, one last question. I'm gonna let Molly bounce, and then we'll jump into working with Dawn and Angie Milanazzo and their team. It'll be we're gonna have a great afternoon, guys. It's gonna be amazing. Nikki Irving, how you doing, Irving?
Hi, Pace.
Hi, what do you got for me? I imagine you have a question for Molly.
Oh, no, I had a question regarding homework.
Okay, got it. Dang it. I thought I was right. Everybody likes Molly more than they like me.
Okay, honestly, I like just being here to hang out, so it's all good.
What's your homework? What's your question about homework, Nikki?
Okay, so thank you for the tools because I hate doing comping and underwriting, but the tools made it so much easier.
Yeah.
There was like a few things like condos. If you can't find a condo or an apartment that is a comp in that area, and the only thing that comes up are freestanding homes, how would you weigh that?
Molly, what's your answer to this question? First
This
off,
is a real
I don't
estate.
love condos. I try and stay away from them as much as I possibly can.
That was my next question.
If I'm
Yeah.
flipping them, I don't love them. If I'm holding them, it's a little happy to do it, but they are a little bit more challenging to comp. Molly, do you have an answer for this?
I would say when I'm comping condos or like townhomes or something that's like within a small little community, you really do need something that's like for like. So I'm either looking further back if you can get older data and just accounting
Okay.
for the fact that the market is likely either gone down or up. You'll obviously know because you're probably understanding what the market is. I say that like everybody knows that, so maybe I shouldn't say that. But like you'll see how long things are staying on the market. For example, most of you who are actively looking for things, you'll see that it is more likely for a house to sit on the market for around 120 to 180 days now, whereas, 2 years ago, houses sat on the market for a week, So there's going to be a period of time where you have to decide, do I need to go further back in this time to look at what a comp looked like more than 6 months ago, more than what the rule is that I'm usually looking at? And then you can also go further out. So the way typically, and there's probably appraisers in here, you guys, that can say what this is, but the way we would usually do this, and I have experience doing this with horse properties because you guys, horse properties are the same way. You can't find exact comps, right? So you're looking at a house that's in an area that doesn't look like anything else. It's not cookie cutter. It doesn't have any similar attributes to other houses around it, and it's different sizes. So if you can't find something exactly around that house, you may need to expand your region around it. So instead of going, a mile out, you're going 2 miles out. You're going 3 miles out, right? And so you're going to find something as close as you possibly can and as close in a date range of when it sold, but you may need to expand your region or go back further in time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank
Great
you
question.
guys. Thank you
Great
for
question,
everything.
Nikki. Of course. Now, a couple of things I want to tell everybody. Next Elephant Challenge is going to be February 14th, and we're going to get a little bit more in the weeds on wholesale. This Elephant Challenge was just kind of like a revival of the Elephant Challenge. And of course, we've got a couple more hours until we're done. We're going to start submitting offers. We're going to bring Dom and Dawn and Angie and Mike and other people on here in just a couple of minutes. But we're also going to be releasing a badge. Okay. Check this out. I got this really cool thing. I actually got this today. I want to show everybody this. Mel Palmer sent this over to me today. Have you seen this, Molly?
Yeah, should you see that it's not done yet? We tried to send out like a review form to your lenders, and the couple that have answered are kind of goofy.
Okay, so what this is, everybody, this is what we call a real estate investor passport. Okay, now it's obviously we got to get some stuff filled in here, but we hired an outside company to verify stuff that I constantly say online. And so what she said is, hey, this has been capital verified, certified, the records and checks and verification, background, education, experience were done and documented in the information contained below. This passport is a stamp in time, current as of blah, blah, blah. I don't know who wrote this, but that's interesting. But what I love is that I have a background check. I have no liens. I have no judgments, no bankruptcies, no interesting. I wonder if they could pull up lawsuits, because I don't have any active lawsuits right now, but
Well, that would be
income
judgment.
taxes.
I think that would be
Judgments.
judgment.
Okay.
Yeah.
0 taxes owed in 2022, 0 taxes owed in 2023. I think that we should have 2021 on there, but no big deal. Verified assets, 1,962 doors. That's pretty cool. Then your private money lender testimonials. We only have 2 technically. I have one complaint only. He paid me back too fast. Pace keeps it going. I'm available. Okay, got it. What I love about this one is this. Molly is the best. She took care of everything.
It has nothing to do with you. I'm like, we shouldn't put that on there.
No, I absolutely love that. I freaking love that. That's so good. So for any of you guys that are sitting here going, how do I know if somebody is verified and they would actually be a good fit for working with? Ask them if they have a passport from Cardinal Creative. Mel Palmer is the person that did this. She has government background into like background checks and forensic data and all that kind of stuff. So you guys can actually verify that when somebody says, oh yeah, I own a bunch of rentals, or yeah, I own a bunch of this, you can go, are you telling the truth or are you full of crap? I wonder if we could add like other businesses and revenue streams on there, but maybe nobody cares.
So it's going to have your outward facing, like your flow chart of all your businesses that you own.
Okay. Very cool. Molly,
Pace.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Have fun in your other company meeting.
I will.
Okay. I'll see you soon.
I'm actually going to a company dinner.
Where are you guys going?
Buck and Ryder.
Oh, I love Buck and Ryder. There's the one in Gilbert now, right? Very cool. I love that.
Okay.
Have fun. Get some oysters. Have a great night. And tell Matthew that he's a handsome son of a gun. We'll see you soon.
I will.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. More speeding tickets or more red light tickets. You know what's funny is that is actually on my passport here. I'll give you guys the link to my passport. This is funny that the thing that's the worst thing about me is I actually do get speeding tickets. Okay, cool guys. Now's the time we're going to talk about teams. We've got up to about 1,200 people. It took a little bit longer for us to get to where we're at today because I think the emails just didn't work out the way they should have today, but we are ready to go. Let's bring on Carly, if you could bring up Don Walker, Angie Milanazzo only, just for a couple of minutes. And we'll have the other people come up a little bit after them. Just bring up Angie and Don Walker. Don Walker.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. Angie.
Hi. Yes.
How you doing?
Doing good.
well.
How are you?
Who did your hair today, Angie?
Myself.
How is that even humanly possible?
It takes a little while, but you know what? I do it every morning.
It's phenomenal. Well, guys, everybody, this is Angie Milanazzo and this is Don Walker. Don Walker lives in Fort Worth, Dallas area, but we just say they're the same. It's just the same thing. It's Texas. Okay. There's no actual difference between Fort Worth, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Corpus Christi. It's all just Texas. Okay. Stop with all the shenanigans. This is Dawn Walker. I actually bought her first deal from her. She got her first deal from helping a baby elephant in the Elephant Challenge. And what the great thing about Dawn Walker is that she's helped 23 other people get deals, her and her partner, Mike. And Angie and her husband, Dom, who is going to come up here in just a little bit. I absolutely love this guy. He is like way more handsome than Bruce Willis. He has Bruce Willis's haircut, but he's way more handsome than Bruce Willis. We love him. And they both run individual teams. Okay. They run the Dumbo. Do you guys call yourself the Dumbo Dial? Don?
Don's is Dumbo Dial.
Yes, ours is the Dumbo Dial.
And then Herd of Profits. And what we're going to do today is, are you girls okay bringing up the teams with all the boys and seeing if we can get some new people to make their first calls to some agents today?
That's what we do. We love it.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it. How many people in here want to make their first call today with some guidance of some team members? Okay, cool. So here's what we're going to do, everybody. This is what we're going to do. Please pay attention. Now, Angie and Dawn, I'm going to chastise you just a little bit, okay? What we need to do is actually give the baby elephants a lot less zooms than what we've been doing in the past. What I want to do, and I don't know if Carly has talked to you about this, I'm going to give you guys some homework because you are kind of two of my favorite leaders. We have other amazing leaders. We've got Brad Lewis. I think this is his first time he's going to lead in the Elephant Challenge. We've got a handful of other leaders as well. Carly, actually, could Carly come up here? I want to have Carly take some notes. Okay. David Brown says, how late is it too late to call an agent? It's probably 8, 9 o'clock. Carly, let's chat about some parameters that we want to make sure that the leaders are doing properly. Okay. Let's make a little bit of a checklist. Okay. Yes. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Today, I'm going to pass it over to Angie and Dawn, and you guys are going to bring up the dudes on your team, and we're going to start selecting people out of the audience to make some calls. What I want to do is let's try and have a goal to see if we can have one of these new people submit their first offer in their first house, if possible today. So other people can kind of watch that as well. Everybody excited about that?
Yeah.
Give me a yes. Joey says, I need to do it backstage. You'll be up here backstage, or you'll be up on the main stage here in a little bit, handsome guy. By the way, does it get weird when your children start growing facial hair, Angie?
Yeah, I tell him to cut that crap off.
I think he looks handsome. I'm just wondering, like, when
He's handsome, but
my son hasn't grown that thick of a caterpillar yet, so I'm wondering when that all happens. I think it's a couple of years away.
yeah, it is.
Okay, so let's come up with some parameters, okay? Because here's what's going to happen. The elephant challenge needs to be continued throughout the rest of the year. What I don't want to do is I don't want the leaders inside of Subto, Gator, and Top Tier TC to spend and consume all their time with the baby elephants. There needs to be a structure, and that structure needs to be less is more. Because what I find is the more value you give to baby elephants, here's what happens. They believe, check this out. You know what the reasons why let's go through the reasons why we call this the elephant challenge. Number one, the elephant challenge is called the elephant challenge because you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So we're going to do this one bite at a time. Number two, what's another reason, Dawn, we call this the elephant challenge?
Because we have to start from the beginning and go slow. We eat it one bite at a time.
Okay. Angie or Carly, do you have any reasons why we call this the elephant challenge as well?
Because it is, we go slow and it's big and slow, just like an elephant. We're going really, really slow. They're not cheetahs. It's
Okay,
not
cool.
the cheetah challenge.
Okay. And then herd of profits. Angie just mentioned it. We want the big elephants, the ones that are more experienced and trained at a higher level, which is sub 2 students, Gator community, the top tier TC. We want them to lead the tribe, right? So you got the big elephants in the front and you got the baby elephants holding on to the tail. There's another reason why we call it the elephant challenge. Another reason why we call it the elephant challenge is because elephants have an amazing memory. And that's both good and bad. Okay, so let me tell you the bad part of the elephants having a good memory. If you tie up a baby elephant to a post and you don't let it leave that post, you give it like 10 feet of slack, and it's held onto that rope and it's stuck to that rope for, let's say, 6 months. You cut that rope one day and guess what happens? They still think they can't leave that post within 10 feet of the perimeter. They remember, right? There's something to them. They're like, oh my gosh. Okay, it stays right there. So here's what I've learned over the last year and a half of doing the elephant challenge is that as we give the baby elephants way more to consume, what they do is they spend most of their time consuming rather than actually doing, if that makes sense. And so what we need to do is we need to dial back way back how much we're delivering to the baby elephants between the elephant challenges. So as the leaders, okay, what I would be doing is I would limit the amount of Zooms you are doing with the baby elephants to 1 time a week maximum. And I would tell them that these Zooms need to be less than 2 hours. And what they need to be doing in order to get back into the Zooms with you is they need to submit leads or submit opportunities to you to get back into the next week's Zoom, right? So if they don't do their homework, what happens is they don't get next week's Zoom. They don't get back in, and you show them, hey, I'm trying to show you, baby elephant, you need to remember, I'm training you right now that in order to get access to next week's Zoom, to get some more leadership, you've got to submit opportunities. Does that all make sense? Do I have to repeat that 85 times to everybody, or was that good enough?
That was amazing.
Amazing.
Okay. Carly, I have now officially said this out loud. If I have another leader that I find is doing a Zoom 3 times a day, once a day, I will no longer have them as a propped up leader inside of this. I need them to know that the more you give the baby elephants, the more the baby elephants believe that they need. Okay. They need less. They need to go out and do action. Okay. Everybody say yes, that's a baby elephant, that you understand that that is the way our team leaders are. They're not going to be answering text messages all the time. They're going to be doing maybe a weekly Zoom with you, But what they want is they want you submitting opportunities so that they can work those opportunities, and they will follow up with you on those opportunities when there is no Zoom going on. So if you say, man, I need some help, well, then generate a lead, generate an opportunity. Then you get the help. There's no point in me talking to you about a house that doesn't even exist. There's no point in me, going through fictitious examples that don't exist. Okay. So we are in here, baby elephants, to get you on some teams today. So here's how we're going to do the teams. Carly, how many people do you have that you think are going to be leaders in this?
I have 10 people that have been consistent.
Okay.
And yes, I have a good 10 consistent people.
Okay. Amelia says, can you repeat that? No, I will not repeat that. Here's the thing I'm now just said to myself. Oh, she says she's just joking. I'm no longer going to repeat myself going forward in elephant challenges. I'm going to say it one time, we're moving on. Okay. So here we go. Everybody that's wanting to be a leader, you cannot be a leader if you are not a Subto community member, a Gator, and a top tier TC. Okay. Not and, or. Now, here's the thing. I need Subto students to be the main leader because they are trained on outreach and generating leads for real estate. Gators fund the deals. Subto students find the deals. Okay. Very big difference. Both parties need to collaborate. Okay. So if you are a closer in Subto, so like Brad Lewis, probably a good person that would be a good leader. I love Brad Lewis. Brad Lewis actually has worked with you, Don. He gives a lot of credit to you and a lot of the help that you and Mike have given to him, and support and friendship and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he
Tish
was
says,
he was our first baby elephant group, and I made him make his first phone calls, and now he's just crushing it. I'm super proud of him. We both are.
I love it. This is a really great question. So Tish, how you doing, Tish?
I'm doing great. How are you, Pace?
I'm good. So no, you don't have to join Subto. What I'm doing right now, Tish, is I'm identifying the teams that you, Tish, because you're obviously not in Subto, you want to join a team to get some additional help, correct?
Yes.
Would you not expect that the leaders of those teams should be trained by me specifically?
Of course.
Okay, so Tish, I'm not telling you in order to join a team, you need to be a Subto community member. I'm telling you that I only want you to join a team that has Subto community members on it.
Oh, okay. I understand now. Sorry about that.
Don't be sorry. I think a lot of people, and by the way, if you are just joining Subto a week ago, not a good fit. Okay. You need to have been in Subto for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months. A lot of the people that are leading the teams are alumni. I call them alumni because they've been in Subto for over 2 years, right? They have a tenure. They've been around for a long time. Angie and Dom Milanazzo and their team, good example of that. Okay. They're mastermind students. I've spent a lot of time with them. I've traveled with them. I've seen them doing deals. I've done deals with them. I love these people. And I think everybody in here, do you guys all not expect me to only allow the leaders of the Elephant Challenge to be people that are vetted, people that are doing deals? Give me a yes. Okay. So if you are a Subto student, okay, that you just joined a week ago or 2 weeks ago, this is not something that will make you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't be a leader. No, you say, oh, that's amazing. I can be one of those people at some point. I'm going to join Angie's team as well. And I'm going to kind of watch Angie, how she leads, because Angie's going to help me turn into a leader as well, because leaders create leaders that create leaders. Okay. And that's what Angie and obviously Dawn just talked about. She said, hey, I helped Brad, and Brad's now ready to come on board and lead a team of his own. That is how this works. That is the culture in which we build. Okay. So leaders create leaders. Dawn obviously has done that. Angie and Dom have already done that as well. And we're going to bring up some of the people on the team, but I wanted less faces on the screen, but I also wanted to bring up some of the prettier faces. And by the way, anytime that you ever hang out with Angie, you're going to notice she has her lipstick and her nails match. Do you match your toenails? I ask that every time, I forget.
I do.
She makes me look like a hobo every time I'm up here next to her because she's always
She
just
makes me look
done
like a
up all
homeless
the
person
time.
for sure, dude. And don't get Angie talking about water, okay? She's going to talk to you about some water.
Oh,
Look at her.
it's
She's
a
like,
lifesaver. I got it right here. Yeah.
she's got it right there. It's
Yes.
Dasani, guys, just so you guys know. Okay, so Carson says, How do I join a team? I'm going to tell you guys how you're going to join a team right now. Is everybody ready to know how to join a team? Is everybody going to listen so I can only say this one time? Everybody type in the word ready because we're going to say this one time. Is it also sad that I have to say that so many? Have you ever had to see me do this ever in Subto or Gator? Ever?
No, no, no.
We get
You guys are
karate
gonna
chop.
make the most patient man loses patience. Listen.
Okay.
Big deep breaths.
This is how we're going to join a team. Carly has a list currently of 10 people. She is going to send out an email to everybody that is on our privy list tonight, right now. Can you send it right now?
I can send it right now. Yes,
Okay.
Give me a minute. We have such a yes.
When I say right
Give me a
now, I mean
minute.
like in the next 10 minutes.
In the next 10 minutes, yes.
Okay,
I can.
perfect. So here's what I want to do. I want two things to happen. Everybody that has already gotten privy, I want everybody to have privy. Why do I want everybody to have privy? I already told you guys on Monday, yes, I make money from it. It's how I pay Carly and other people behind the scenes. Yes. I can tell you right now, the amount of money we make from privy does not pay for 1/5 of the payroll that it takes to run the Elephant Challenge. It is not worth my time to push privy. It is worth my time to push privy to pay for a couple of people, but it's not, I'm not balling out and buying Subto hats with this money. Okay. I do get paid from privy. I do appreciate privy. However, I really do love privy's product. It helps so many newbies as like a basic foundational element. Angie and Dawn, is it challenging when you have people in your team that don't actually have any tools and are not willing to invest $100 a month into their business?
Very,
Yes.
very.
Do you correlate a mindset with people that are like, I just do everything for free and why can't I just do this on Zillow, to also the people that have a hard time getting deals?
Yes. It is, you're making your life a little bit harder, right? To do that. I mean, a lot a bit harder because it's a tool that you're going to need long term, right? We have several tools, but this is just a simple one that you can use to get started, to get traction. Like, I love Privy. It makes it really good to comp, but guys, spend the time if you have it. And if you don't, partner with somebody, make a new friend, use it together.
Yep.
So here's what we're going to do. People are really correcting me on this. I said $100 a month and people are really upset about that. Guys, if that is the thing you pulled out of what I just said, that I said 100 and it's actually $120, go over to your bathroom right now and just look in the mirror and just tell that person that you love that person. Just say, I love you. It's going to be okay. I know that you took the time to type into a comment about a $20 difference that Pace was saying. I know that, but I love you. I believe in you. Let's do better. And then come back. Okay. After you do that, come back. We're going to be just fine. The $20 difference does not change your life. I promise you. Okay. People are like $19 difference. Guys, come on. Go tell that person in the mirror you love them. Okay. Now, okay, cool. I love that. And you guys did say $872 a year is like the yearly plan. That's great if you buy it all up front. So that's great. It's like $80 a year or $80 a month, whatever. It's the only tool that you really need. What you need is you need to be able to be calling agents, seeing active deals, and working with people on like Angie's team, Dawn's team. You need to be submitting opportunities. And now they're going to tell you how to do that and how they work with their teams and all of that kind of stuff. I'm going to take a step back today while they work through that stuff. But here's what I want you to do. Everybody is going to get an email that is a privy client underneath the code PACE. That way I know the people that are joining these teams actually have a tool. They can actually use a tool to comp, use a tool to actually go through and look up agents and do all of the things that we need to do in here and actually have something to go and get a deal. So that email is going to be sent out in the next 10 minutes. What I want to do, okay, I'm going to take a step back. We've got another, let's see, it's 5 o'clock now. I think we go another hour and a half. Now, tomorrow we're going to do a bonus day. I think I should do the bonus day with everybody. What do you think, Carly? Should I just do everybody tomorrow? Like we'll just do Q&A tomorrow?
I think that would be fair. But for the next time, I think we should only do for action takers, in my humble opinion.
We're going to do a Q&A tomorrow morning, just so you guys know. It's going to be 9 o'clock Arizona time to noon, I think, right? Is that right? Or is it 8 to 11?
It's 8 to 11.
Crap. Okay, 8 to
Is
11.
what we
So-
have right now. We can change
Love it. Okay, cool. So Arizona time, just so you guys know, is currently 2 hours behind Eastern time. So Eastern time right now is 7 o'clock. Arizona is 5 o'clock. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to go 8 o'clock Arizona time. That is currently Mountain Standard Time. We are the only state that is not crazy, and we don't change our times twice a year. Okay. Don't you have a webinar tomorrow at 10 a.m.? That's why I'm probably gonna have somebody else help jump in, my brother. I'll probably go like 8 to 10, and then maybe somebody else will jump in for the last hour. Just FYI. Okay. Pace, if we re-signed with Privy, do we qualify to get on a team? Yes, absolutely. Okay, cool. 8 to 11 Eastern. I'm ready to get my LLC started and do this thing. Hell yeah, Jacob. Love that. Wait, what? Wow. Okay, we'll do tomorrow, 8 a.m. Okay, 8 o'clock a.m. I will be on here tomorrow morning. All right, sounds good. Dope. Now, Carly's going to send out an email to everybody that has a Privy situation. Now, what's this email going to be? And by the way, I'm explaining it one time. I'm having Carly explain it one time. If you guys can't figure out instructions, somebody needs to fly to your house and give you a karate chop. It's not that hard. What will be in this email? Is it going to be 10 names and like cell phone numbers? Is it going to be 10 names and a link to sign up on their team? What are they going to get?
They're going to get their names, their group names, how to reach out to them, how they prefer to be reached out to, their experience, and how long they've been, and just a little bit about them. So Angie might be like, hey, I'm Angie. I'm a co-leader of the Herd of Profits. This is what we've done. We've helped 25 million baby elephants get their first deal. Here's how to reach out to me. This is what my experience is. I'm a Gator. I'm a unicorn agent. All of that stuff. So it's going to be a little form that has everything about them and how you to reach out to them.
Love that. Okay, cool. Does everybody understand that? Give me a yes. As long as 70% of people get that, I can move on and we can keep going. Okay. Now, what I want to do, Angie and Dawn, I'm going to take a step back. You're going to bring your team members up. Let's talk about, hey, let's call some agents and let's try and submit some offers. Let's look at some deals. Maybe you guys are looking at whatever you want to do over the next hour. Give people kind of a hint and a tease of what you'll be doing next week on your teams. And let's spend the next hour getting people to take some action.
Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
Carly, you want to pull everybody up here and I'll pull back.
Yes.
I'll hang out in the backstage and let you guys take it over from here. And if I don't come back on here for whatever reason, I will be on here, but if I don't come back on here, I'll see everybody back here at 8 a.m. Arizona time for Q&A. Oh my gosh, is that freaking Mike Jackson? Freaking guy's gangster.
What's going on, Pace?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Really
Mike
well.
Jackson is gangster, dude. I'm gonna pull off here. Let's see here. Let me remove my spotlight. Let's get, oh my gosh, Dom is on here. Oh my gosh, Dom's on here.
Did my hair today.
Wow, bro, you did do your hair today. That looks good.
The one that I have that grows right there. I have one here. I leave it there too, and I style it. It's the last one I have.
It looks sharp, bro. All right, so who else are we bringing up here? We've got Joey. Let's bring Joey up here as well. Who else do we have? Mike, you are
I don't think Mike Connors is supposed to be
he's
up
not
here.
supposed to be here, and Tish is not supposed to be up here. Okay, cool. So we've got two teams up here. We've got Dawn Walker and Mike Jackson. You guys are the Dumbo Dial. And then we've got Angie, Dom, and Dylan, who are the Herd of Profits. I love how you guys tied it all into the Elephant Challenge. Thank you guys so much for always doing, like always leading, always being the best. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to pull off. I'm going to hang out in the backstage. You guys take it from here. Who's going to take host? Who's going to talk the most? Who wants host?
I can take host or Mike can, either one.
Oh, yes. Okay, cool. We are giving you the power. Guys, give Dawn and everybody in here a bunch of love. Tell them that you appreciate them being in here, taking all the experience that they've taken. I mean, think about Dawn. I remember there was a moment in time where Dawn would say, oh my gosh, I haven't got my first deal yet. And she would beat herself up. I haven't gotten my first deal yet. I haven't got my first deal yet. And the other day I was so proud, and this is a large part to Mike Jackson and our community, and the Elephant Challenge as well, working with the baby elephants. I was able to post a screenshot of a text message that Dawn and I were texting back and forth about how she's done now 24 deals in the last year. So there is a moment Okay. Every one of these people have felt the same thing. Dylan, Mike Jackson, Angie, Dom, everybody in here has felt these moments of, I haven't done a deal. I'm stressed out. I don't have momentum. I don't know if this is going to be a good thing for me. And now here they are with proof that they've done the thing, they've overcome, they've fought through, and now they want to turn around and help you guys out. So what do we do, guys? We have an attitude of gratitude. I don't know about you guys, but I sure do love it when people appreciate the hard work and the perseverance that I did not quit. And not only that, but I turn around and I give it back to the next person in line. So please, everybody in here, 1,200 people, let them know that we appreciate them and have an attitude of gratitude. Don, you are in charge.
Thank you very much. What's up, guys? Thank you to all the leaders coming up here. We do all of this in both of our groups all the time where we just make calls to agents, right? So that's what we're going to do now. And kind of to let the ball roll a little bit, I want to hear from kind of every leader up here on what is probably the biggest thing you struggled with at first when it came to talking with agents, just so everyone knows that we all go through the same thing, right? We all...
Can I just cut in for just 2 seconds?
Yeah.
And then I'll let you guys go. I just want to make an announcement. It's a big list and you guys might have to wait for more than 10 minutes to get your list, but we will get it and we'll put it in the free group also. So please be patient. Sorry to interrupt you, Dawn.
You're
Take
good.
it away.
You're good. So, you know, Joey, what's something that when you first started making phone calls with agents, what's like the thing that terrified you the most? Like, what did you go through in your head?
Everything. Everything terrified me, right? And me and Dylan, we first just started, literally we were fishing in the wrong pond. We're just making calls to any agent of any on-market property. We're just honestly looking at like $1 million homes. In our mind, we're like, all right, we're gonna Airbnb these properties for 20 grand a month, and they're gonna sell it to us for 0 down, 0 interest. And we went 9 months, I think it was 10 months, 10 months without a deal. That's literally 10 months with $0. Me and Dylan went. Thankfully, we had Dom and Angie with their brokerage to be our saving grace to eat every month. But literally 10 months with no deals, just fishing in the wrong pond. We just didn't know how to handle objections. Didn't know what to say to certain agents, right? There's the bubbly agents, there's the close off agents. You got to change your tone and your pitch for each agent. We just didn't know that. I mean, it literally just took failing and failing and failing over and over.
I love
finally find that click, that what's the sauce. We finally found the sauce.
We didn't know what
and
we
now we're
didn't
trying
know.
to just give it to everybody else.
That's
Yeah,
such
exactly.
a good
We didn't know
point.
what we didn't know.
Right. You guys, none of us knew what to really do at the beginning. So all of you, how many of you, give me a yes in the side chat, are afraid to make their first phone call to an agent? Or any phone call to an agent? Okay. So there's a lot of yeses in here. There's a good mix, right? Guys, I still have nerves sometimes when I jump on the phone talking with these agents. It happens all the time. Just depends on what's going on in the day and where my mindset is. Everyone has kind of that little butterfly thing happening every once in a while, but we all go through it. So don't worry so much about, feeling like you don't know what to say or what to do. You're just having a conversation. Don't make it much bigger than it needs to be in your mind, right? All
like
we're
you're calling
doing
a
is
friend.
trying to initiate that relationship and get information on the property.
Right.
The next phone call is when we get nitty gritty. So don't worry about not knowing what to do or what to say. It's just taking that step forward, which is what Joey was saying. We have to just push forward a little bit and make those mistakes, make a mess, and let's clean it up. It's much easier to try to do that and help you when you've made those mistakes rather than talk about hypotheticals. Dominic, what do you want to add to that? I'm sorry.
You bringing up hypotheticals is, we have that, the challenge of not the Closers Cafe, but the Closers Octagon, right? It's hard not knowing those scenarios, right? So, but if you go into it knowing what you're going to say or some things you're going to say, an agenda, it helps you a hell of a lot more with these people. And just looking at them like you're just having a conversation with somebody, you're just a friend of theirs, not so much of you're trying to sell them anything or get anything out of them. You're just trying to talk to them, and organically things will happen.
Yeah. And we're going to get into making some calls here in a minute, but I want to hear from Mike and Dylan a little bit about what are some things that we're going to help them do throughout the Elephant Challenge to kind of get over those fears and to get them to that action step? So Mike, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, thanks, Don. So Dom actually teed this up pretty well for me. Don and I have been doing, Don and Dom and Angie and I have basically been doing the Elephant Challenge since its inception, since day one. And we had a team member of ours who was in our Dumbo Dial who joined the Elephant Challenge and then went into our Dumbo Dial. She's since joined Subto. She joined maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And Dom, you just said the Closers Octagon. She is now leading the Closers Octagon in terms of score. So she went from being a baby elephant, just like everyone in here, into our Dumbo Dial and then into Subto, and now she's killing it. And in fact, she joined our team there for a while as well. So, I think to answer your earlier question, Don, for me, the scariest thing was getting over the fact that an agent on the other side of the line, I thought that agent knew much more than I did. And even though I've been in real estate for a really long time as an agent as well, not on the residential side, but commercial side, I realized really quickly that I knew so much more than most of the people that I was working with on the phone. And, it's hard to get past that initially, but I think that once you realize that there are people out there who are wanting to learn what it is that you know, those calls become a lot less scary. So in terms of our Dumbo Dials, what we do in our Dumbo Dials, and I think Angie and Dom do it in their Herd of Profits as well, is we like to make phone calls. We like to see action takers. We want people in there who are making phone calls on a daily basis by themselves, but also publicly in our groups. And all of us who are in Subto, I think we've all realized that the only way that you can improve is if you work with people who are better than you at what you're trying to be better at. And, that's why all of us here, we like to work with people who have been in Subto longer, maybe, or who've been in real estate longer. And that's what we like to do in our Dumbo Dials, is just make sure that we provide you guys with data, we provide you guys with constructive criticism, and we give you an opportunity to get better.
Yeah. Yep. Angie, is there anything you want to add, or Dylan?
Well, with me, so for me, like calling agents, I've been doing real estate for 17 years. So I don't really have that fear. Because I talk to agents all the time. So I like to help agents and train agents and give them knowledge of subject to and seller finance. So I don't really have that. I didn't have that fear because I'm just used to it. But you can ask Dylan, like how
You're just a badass, Angie. We all know it.
Oh, thanks, Don.
I don't know if Dylan can hear me. Dylan, can you hear me? Go ahead. What's something when you first started making phone calls, like everyone here in the Elephant Challenge, what's something you struggled with at first, and then what's something you learned through that struggle?
Yeah, definitely something I struggled with that I think a lot of people can relate to is just what a good deal actually looks like. Joey and I spent so much time calling $1 million homes in Breckenridge, Colorado, seeing if they'd take 0 down, 0 interest. And we went 9 months without even a sniff of a deal. So it's learning about where to hunt, what ponds to fish in, what a good deal actually looks like. That would be the toughest thing.
Yeah. And that doesn't come easy, right? That takes a lot of time to do. So guys, don't focus so much on the result of necessarily knowing what a good deal is right off the bat. It's not going to happen. What you do need to focus on is your skill. And your skill right now is talking to people. So that's the same thing if you're a TC, if you are an integrator of some sort, whatever your avatar may be, right? Whether it's DTA or direct to seller, you have to practice your skill. And you still have to talk to people in order to get somewhere with your deals, right? So even though we talk to agents in our Zooms, right? And this is kind of the theme for the Elephant Challenge, is talking with agents. Those of you that are trying to network, you still have to talk to people. So make sure that you guys are doing that. Be intentional with it. Learn something about yourself and someone else that you talk to, and you'll eventually get to the, badass level like Angie, where she has no fear and is able to do all the cool stuff. But you'll learn a lot along the way.
Try explaining it to your family and friends. Try to sell them, because they're the hardest ones, right? So if you throw up on all your family and friends, who cares, right? They're not sellers anyway. So if you practice with them, by the time you get to making your calls or at the same time, you're going to have much more skills. I want to add something to that, Don. It took us so long because we didn't squad up. There wasn't that many people to squad up, but we could have done that. We could have found somebody and learned a hell of a lot quicker than what we did. We did not do that. We thought, oh, we already run a brokerage. We're real estate agents. We know everything, like all real estate agents to know everything. And we did not squad up. So that was a big, problem for us, but it ended up being our superpower because we were forced to do so many different things and learn it and really learn it like stings, like it stung really bad. So we learned it and ingrained it in our brains. And now we're able to give all that information to you guys because we put that time in. But I would not suggest doing that. It's these challenges right here will launch you, will slingshot you into something that you never even thought that was possible. So utilize this and really jump into it, like live it. It's your life for a while. It's not just something you do for a couple hours a day. If that's the case, you're just not going to catch on. It's your life. So when you go home at night or you made your calls for the day, go on YouTube, go watch calls, go research everything about Subto, all of those things. And that will help you when you're making those calls. So it's more of a lifestyle, especially in the beginning. You got to submerge yourself in it.
Absolutely.
Hey, Dom, I'm curious, as an agent for you were trained conventionally, traditionally in real estate agency. When you went into Subto and you started learning all of these other strategies, was it hard for you to transition from what you learned before to what you are now learning in
I'll tell you, the
Subto?
biggest transition was they scared the living daylights out of you when you take your test, right? And everything about it, and then all your courses that you take and all your CE credits, they scare the hell out of you. So that's what held me back the most. Not really wanting to do it or transitioning, just scared of, you're going to get sued, you're going to do this and all of these things. And the reason why is because they have to train you in that manner, because that's how the whole structure works for real estate agents, right? They don't want people going rogue and doing these things because they can't keep track of them and they can't reel that in. So their whole structure depends on how they teach from the beginning, from when you get your license to your CE credits and on down the line. So that was the biggest thing for me, was I was scared that I was going to get in trouble or something was going to happen.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. Anecdotally, I had a call yesterday with an agent that we're selling a property in California. We bought it Subto, we're now reselling it. The agent calls me and says, hey, I want my broker to talk to you. So, okay, no problem. I was on the phone for an hour with this broker and the agent. The agent was telling me that what we were doing wasn't legal and the broker was backing him up. And he looked at the contract that we had signed by both the buyer and us, the seller. And he said, we don't want anything to do with this. This is way too risky. You guys are going to get in trouble if you guys do this. So it's always interesting to hear an agent's perspective. I appreciate that, Dom.
Yeah, they scared straight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say the last probably 20 calls I've had with agents. So we have a listing, right? And these agents are calling me, about the listing, and, they want to submit offers, but I started talking to them about creative financing. And so now I have about 10 of them that want to have their buyers buy creatively. It's crazy because explaining it to them and showing them and helping them, I said, this is just another tool in your pocket. Like, this is going to help your buyer or your seller. And so it's been amazing. Like, I just treat them like they're my friend, and they listen, and it works,
And Dawn's, I don't know, for those of you guys who haven't heard Dawn's story, for example, on her first deal, it was with an agent who was selling her own home.
Yeah.
And now she's calling Dawn on a monthly basis saying, hey, can you show me how to do this? I'm looking for a home in Georgia. So now Dawn's teaching the agent how to get her own home in Georgia. It's a really cool story.
Yeah, it's really neat. We've maintained a relationship since March of 2023, and just talked with her, I think yesterday, the day before, and she wants to buy a house in where she moved to, and then she wants to be taught how to do this, which is so great, right? And what's even better is that we have the network to be able to either find her a property or teach her when she finds her own property to move into. So that's just a big full circle moment. You never know what those are going to lead to, but when you have the right intentions, then it's going to come back. So it's really, really cool. Well, guys, I think we're all ready to start making some phone calls. Do you guys want to see how some of these amazing people here make phone calls to agents? Would that be helpful? Okay. I know
Joey, we have
Joey,
one that you can
Dylan,
call on.
and Mike are great on the phone. So is Angie and Dom. But Joey, do you want to go ahead and kick us off here?
Yeah, I was literally
Some of
just
my
pulling up
buyers
Rock
already.
Stream to find me some low equity and start making some calls.
No balloons.
Let's do it. Or maybe we can even eventually have Dylan unmute since he's constantly on the phone all the time. I love it.
I know he's been on an agent called him like 5 minutes ago. He's on the phone, and then a seller just called him on something he was calling him earlier. He's like, "Oh
Yeah.
my God, I got perfect low equity, literally in our neighborhood."
And Mike and Dylan and Dom, if you want to start teeing up some properties that you guys can call, then let's get it done so we can keep going. And then in a little bit, guys, we're gonna start having some of you that want to start making phone calls come up with us. So I know that Angie and their group as well as ours, what we do is when we're talking in our groups and have our Zooms, we don't want to be the ones majority talking. We want to be the ones coaching and helping you as you make your phone calls. So all of these action takers, we want you guys, when you come into our Zoom, be ready to get some feedback, ready to get some coaching, and we'll be in the side chat helping you guys go. So have that mentality that you're going to get over that hump. It's going to be scary, but we're going to help you. So just keep that in mind. So if we have any of those people in here today that want to do that, just get ready. I'll tell you when to raise your hand so that way we can start pulling people up. But I want you guys to see how some phone calls are done, and then we can get going. It's not rocket science, I promise. I promise. All right.
And I'm literally gonna make a call in areas where they've probably been pitched subject to 100 times.
Yep.
Just so you guys can hear how to try to get over those objections. So I don't want
Right.
to call I want to call the hard ones. I'm probably the 100th subject to offer.
Right. And guys, in the Elephant Challenge, Pace is talking about finding listings that are 90 plus days on market, right? And are cash offers, things that we can put a cash offer on. Now, does that mean that that's the main strategy that we're looking for? We never know. We're just going to call and get information from the agent to see where this is going to go, right? Then after we have that initial phone call, maybe we find that we can submit a cash offer and see where it goes. If they say no, then maybe we can pivot. We don't know yet. We're not thinking
Joey.
that far ahead in the future.
Joey, I have an idea. Since we have a few buyers, why don't you try calling to get a deal for one of our buyers in Thornton or Brighton?
That's where I'm literally going.
And they've got $100,000 to put down.
There we go.
That's where I'm going.
That's another important thing, guys, is that if you're trying to market or trying to find deals in your market, make sure that you're finding some buyers as well, right? Supplement your time if you need to. Don't just go and be a knucklehead and lock up contracts without knowing that, one, it's a good deal, or two, that you have a buyer that you can sell it to, right?
And also, I have one thing. If you're an agent and you have a listing or you have a buyer, go talk to agents and ask them if they have buyers that didn't qualify traditionally, and then bring the deals over to one of us leaders, and we can get it closed for you.
Open houses are great for that. Go on a
Eddie.
Saturday, fucking all the open houses.
Eddie asked a great question. Do you usually find buyers in Privy? Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you go into Privy, right, and you're looking at the listings and you're seeing the solds, you can go into public record and see who bought the property, and then look up that LLC, if it's an LLC or a person, or on open corporates, and try to find out the information. Or the simplest way that I know that Mike and I do is that we just call the agent like, hey, is your buyer interested? Are they looking for more properties? Don't overcomplicate it. You don't need to have this fancy skip tracing software to get information. You just got to talk to the right people. How's it going, Joey?
Still ring.
Got it. Mike, you got anybody?
Working on it.
Take some time. Guys, what questions do you have? Like when it comes to making these first phone calls, right? Give me a question that you need answered or you feel like you need answered in order to make that phone call. Now we got buyers in here. That's great. Y'all should be definitely networking in the side chat.
I can tell you what not to say. Don't dog on their house, on their listing. I see it's been on for 100 days. What's wrong with it? Ah. Like as an agent, that's just, what do you mean? It's just what it is, right? Call them up and compliment them. Hey man, that's a nice listing you got there. I know it's difficult to get listings, man. So good job on your listing. Can you tell me
Yes.
a little bit about it? Or I have an interested buyer. And then get to the whole 100 days. They already know it's been on 100 days. Trust me. They're about ready to lose the listing. They know it's been on 100 days. So try not to do anything negative and everything positive. Like you love the house, you love everything about it. So if you put, even if the house is not very nice, you shouldn't, don't talk down on their house. Try to find something to compliment them with.
Yes.
Hey, Dom, that's a great point, and I love hearing it from an agent because those are obviously that's the demographic that we're calling. It's so easy to get not combative, that's the wrong word, but say something that might offend. For example, it's, if I call you and I go, what the heck is going on with this listing? Why hasn't it sold? You as the agent, you're probably thinking, well, shoot, he's saying that I'm doing something wrong.
Right. And we
So,
don't know what they went through to get that listing. There's a lot, I know a lot of people, tell me when you're ready, Joe, just I'll shut up. A lot of people think that, you just go get a contract signed, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. Sometimes you get that. And, it's difficult when people don't recognize that for agents. And if you do that, they'll be a lot nicer to you.
100%. Let's see. Mike, you got anybody coming up yet?
You can't hear me, huh? They said I'm whispering.
I'm gonna make some phone calls.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
And guys,
I've already
this
ranked
is
4 agents. You will find out that agents don't really answer their phone.
Yeah, guys, this is normal, right? Everyone's calling, so it's gonna happen where there's gonna be a little bit of that dead space, and so we're just trying to fill it until someone answers. You may have to make 15, 20 calls before somebody answers the phone. It's also a little bit later in the evening on a Friday night, so it's bound to happen. But that
But I
doesn't
think that's
mean
usually when you can get a hold of them.
Yeah.
Do I
So
sound
get
better,
the-
guys? Is that better? Okay, I turned up my volume.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so this is gonna happen. It happens to the best of us when we're making these phone calls. We know that no one's gonna answer.
A
right?
good thing too, if they have a listing, they're going to want to answer. And if it's after hours, they're probably, maybe having a cocktail or something. So they'll be a little bit more relaxed. So that's a great time to call.
Yep. Yeah, in fact, Mike has a story about one agent that we called, and I swear every time we called her, she would go to a bar at 5 p.m. every day, and she'd call us as soon as she would get a drink. And that was about the only time that we had a really good conversation with her. And it was awesome. We almost got to a contract, but the seller didn't want to go through with it. But it was it's interesting the type of agents that you run into, right? Yeah, happy hour, Lydia, definitely.
We would also intentionally call her at that time though, right?
This
Because
is true.
she was the loosest and she was easiest to talk to at that point.
This is true.
I just saw somebody saying that, it's crazy how they don't answer their phone. Yeah, a lot of them don't, but sometimes, man, they've got 50 calls that, within the last 4 hours, and they're calling people back and texting in front of people. So give them some grace, right, in your brain, because if you don't, then you're automatically going to have that feeling when you're calling them, like, why aren't they answering? So think of something good instead of something bad when you call them, because they'll hear that in your voice and your tone.
Yeah, and guys, agents, they're human too. They're people too. They have kids. They have other responsibilities. They have things going on in their life. They're not special. And I don't mean that to be rude. I mean that is like, they're not up here on a pedestal. They're human just like us. They have other things going on as well. So don't make them out to be this big green monster in your mind. You talk to them as if they're your friend, your sister, your mother, your brother, your sister, your uncle, because we all have things going on. Yeah, they're not robots, Vlad. Exactly. So it is what it is. And if they don't answer, that's not to chastise the agent, like, oh, they just don't want to work. I mean, sometimes that's the case, but most of the
I'll give
time.
you guys a nugget. Send them a video text. Do a video, send them a quick text. Hey, blah, I know you're super busy. I just want to get a hold of you. I'm a real buyer, whatever it is that you want to say, but a video text so they know you're a real person and not just somebody spamming them. They get to see hear you, see you, and see your personality. That helps.
100%. Alonzo said, can we call over the weekend? Of course you can. Of course you can. When do most agents have their showings?
And they're
On
open
the
houses.
weekends.
They're sitting at the open house twiddling their thumbs. They're going to answer you.
Yeah, of course. Now be respectful, guys. Like, don't be calling at 9 p.m. at night. Like, you're just setting yourself up for a very angry phone call.
I personally wouldn't call any earlier than 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's just my, people are getting kids to school, if it's school time or whatever, getting ready. I wouldn't call before 8 o'clock. I know people say I call at 5 o'clock. Well, great, Tito, but you're probably not getting anybody to answer at that time.
Right. I mean, I'm sure Joey's probably made 20 phone calls by now and still no one's answering, right?
I've made 9. I'm reading
9.
one right now.
So, I mean, this is every day. We go through this all the time. So, do we think it's easy to get through 10 phone calls a day? I mean, Joey's made 9 in the matter of 10 minutes. So, yeah, just because you're making phone calls no one answered, that's still something to celebrate, guys. But the goal is to get to conversations, right? How many conversations can I get to? So don't worry about not getting to 50 calls a day. Work within the time that you have, but it's about getting to that conversation. Who's going to answer the phone?
Right. Don't make it a combative situation. Just make it a fun, playful situation.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Are any agents in here that have dealt with someone calling them about their listing and it's been completely negative? Yeah. Melee's like, yeah, duh, of course. That's a good question. Erica asks, can we talk about scripts or do you role play? Yeah, we role play in both of ours, right? And trying to help you guys get some help there. But I'm curious, Dom, what is your view on scripts?
I'm not a script person at all. Like I don't call as often as they do, right? I believe in phrases, like certain things that you would say to them in the beginning. Great job on that listing. I know how difficult that is. Something to that effect when you first call them, not reading from that script because they'll know right off the bat. And I tell you what, as an agent, when I hear that, I'm like, oh God, it's going to be something. They're calling about insurance maybe, or they're calling about, who knows? And I hang up. I literally hang up when it's scripted. Because I just know it's going to be a pain. But if you call in and it's fluid, right? They're not messing around like I'm a buyer. Let's do this, right? Not reading from a script. Then I'm like, okay, this person is a legitimate person, even if they're not the end buyer, right? But they've sold me on the idea that they are the end buyer. So that's a big thing for me is the scripting it's not good for me, maybe some people, but I believe in phrases, just certain things maybe put by your desk that helps you through the conversation that you could look over and then reference that in your brain and say that to them.
I really like what Jerry put in here. Jerry said call structure versus call scripts, right? Now there's some people, there's nothing wrong with using scripts, guys. I just personally cannot do it because I can't read from a script. I will sound like a robot. I would be the worst actress in the world. I just cannot separate that in my brain. So I'm very much like Dom. And that took time, but where I stick with phrases, I also stick with a few things that I want to ask them and touch on, right? So, I mean, Dom, we hit the 4 pillars or try to when we talk to agents, just try to get a few bullet points between each of those to get to what we need to know about that property, if we can. If we can't, guess what? That just leads to another phone call and another opportunity for me to sharpen my skill to talk to the agent again, right? Now it should be a little more familiar when you get to talk to that agent a second time.
One thing I use is I just got this information. If I'm calling for a client, whatever, I just got this. I have not had any time to research. How do you think it's priced? I don't even know the area yet. And they'll tell you because they want to tell you because they've done a lot of work to get there to say, okay, great. Okay, I have this, I have this, I have this. This is the comp, whatever it happens to be. But you ask them instead of get me up to speed, which is great. That I've used that a lot of times too. But I say, I don't even know this area. So can you help me out? Is this price right? Like, I don't even know if this is even in the right price range. Something to expect, and they'll help you and they'll tell you Joey's dog's attacking it. So
this is also a good question. If they don't answer, should we leave a voicemail? I'm not a voicemail person. I'd much rather leave a text, right?
Text, video, or voice text.
Yeah. Perfect.
Let them see your personality, guys. Your personality it's overlooked, right? Everybody thinks it's the flow.
So I'm 16 calls in, no answer.
Wow. I screwed up so many times on my flow and how but my personality came across that it was genuine. And so that's what's kept me in the conversation. And that will keep you in the conversation, especially when you don't know so much. You don't know what you don't know. So the only thing you really have is being yourself and having that personality to get through to that person.
And guys, what we're saying is not the end all be all. You can leave a voicemail if you want. You don't have to. This is just what we've done over time, right? Get your own system, your own style that you like to do, right? I just find that I get better responses with text. Now there are some that are like, oh, you can't even leave me a voicemail, but you'll text me. Oh, Joey's got one.
Help you. Yeah, can I speak with Treasurer Davis, please? I'm just calling about your guys' listing on Silver Hills Court.
That's actually Kim's listing.
Oh, okay.
Can I give you her cell phone number?
Yeah, actually, I might have it here. There was 2 listing agents on it, so I just called Treasurer first. Is it
Her number should be on there.
is it 922-0528? Okay, I'll just give her a call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Almost.
Almost. So close. So close.
You got the primary listing agent, and the secondary is the one that takes all the calls.
Yeah. Ooh, this is a good question and something that most people don't realize to answer or to ask. Guys, when you're calling agents, do we want to talk to the listing agent or the buyer's agent?
Who are you asking? The crowd?
I'm asking the group first, and then I'm going to come to you.
Hey, Kim, my name's Joey. I'm just calling about your listing on Silver Hills Court. Yeah, hi, how you doing? I see the Davis team is killing it. I've called like 3 or 4 of your agents on like 10 different properties. You guys are doing great in the Springs.
It's been a pretty great even though it's been a weird year, it's been a great year for listings for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm just a buyer in the area. We actually are closing on one like literally a mile away Monday. We closed on one like 3 days ago. So just trying to grab as many as we can in the Springs. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about this listing? I'm surprised you guys don't have a contract yet.
So what kind of buyer are you? Let's talk about that first before I spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
Do you do creative financing?
I do it all. I do cash, I do creative, I do seller finance, I do anything that can work for the deal. I'm sure you've probably been bombarded by 100 subject to offers.
Yeah, so they're not sellers are not doing you. They want to do something traditional. I submitted every different path for them, but it's they are not interested in doing any kind of subject to or creative financing. If you want to come to the table with chat, or they also have a VA assumable loan for they have to be VA buyers so that their eligibility is being stated. But they are not comfortable doing anything that is subject to. So we've had lots of great talks with them about it and really kind of gone through the process. But if you want to submit an offer, that's something. If we have something in hand, then I'm happy to submit any offer that you have for sure. But I just know that they're just not comfortable to the subject to process. So if it's something that's very, very clear and straightforward for them, that's great. They're active military, husbands deployed, and I think they are just not comfortable doing anything that's out of the box. And, for them right now, that's kind of where they are. They're just very, very adamant about that.
Gotcha. Makes sense. And it doesn't always work with veterans, right? I assume they don't want to do a subject to because they need that entitlement.
Yeah, they have it, and they need it, available for them. It's once we sell, we've had a ton of great showings. So, I feel like things are picking up. They just had a price drop. So, I'm pretty comfortable with knowing that, eventually we'll get a buyer that they're comfortable with.
Yeah, no, I'd still love to make a cash offer on this one. Because we do a lot of cash, and it looks like there is a lot of potential for me to kind of fix some things up and maybe resell it or just hold it. I do mostly buy and holds. I kind of pulled back on my flips, but doesn't mean I won't do it.
Sure. The other thing that they are, they're at a place where, they don't have equity in this house. So, we have received an offer that was, from an investor, and it was really low. And I know that, they have a little bit of wiggle room, but not much. So that's, keep that in mind if you decide to put an offer in. They can't do a low ball because they do not have the equity. They've got to be able to pay off their loan and be able to move forward. So just keep that in mind. If you decide you want to do that, they just don't have, this will really fit with an investor. With the fact that, they're just, they're not going to give you any room, obviously, to do a lot of work. If you're gonna do buy and hold, obviously that would work. But, and I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm really not. It's just, you're right. It's hundreds of calls since we've been on the market. And I realize that, situations might work for a lot of different buyers, or for sellers, but this one particular, it's just a little tougher because they don't have the equity to be able to do much with the house. They're basically going to get out of here without owing anything, and that's it.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, sucks they can't do something creative because I could get them like 10, 15K in their pocket. I'll pay your commission. I'll pay the closing costs. I mean, have they spoken with a new lender to see if they have any second tier entitlement? Because my lender is awesome. He could probably find them their entitlement, depending on the county they're going to.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what their plan is, but I know that they were no subject to no creative financing, period. They just want, I wish I had better, I mean, you could talk to me all day about it, but they're not open to doing that for you.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a no-go.
Okay, well, how about this? I can just shoot you my cash offer, and then below it, just for fun, I'll put the creative offer in there. Maybe it might be appealing to them. I'll put my lender's info. They can literally call and just pick his brain about their entitlement. Because if you look at my credibility letter, which I'll also add in there, I've bought a property from probably 10 different veterans, and they were all able to go grab another house with zero down. And that was all thanks to my lender. So you could literally call my past sellers and ask them how that went. So I'll just add that just for your sellers. They could call them. They could still say, "Hey, I hate creative. I'm not even gonna look at it." Cool. But I'll put my cash offer up top. Below will be my creative offer. Now, we'll tell you the creative offer is going to be much higher. They will actually make some money. But I get it. It's not for everybody. So I'll just shoot you over both of those.
Do they want to?
I just didn't, just kind of giving you the heads up on how they've responded to everything else.
Yeah.
A way that's not a traditional, something that's really straightforward and traditional. But yeah, send it over. And whatever you have, I'll definitely submit to them.
Yeah, okay. And I'll definitely I'll shoot it over. And I never want to take anybody's entitlement away. If my lender actually kills a lot of my deals, he'll tell me, "Nope, Joey, sorry. They can't get into their house with zero down. They don't want to do an FHA." And I'm like, okay, cool. So my lender is on your seller's side. So that's why I'll add his info just to see.
My sellers are moving out of state. They're getting a PCS, so I don't even know if they're buying, like where they're buying. Honestly,
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
I'm not sure. I think they're going to, because the husband's deployed. I think the wife is going to be living with her parents for a little bit, while he's overseas. So I honestly, there's a lot of moving parts for them right now, and I think that's another reason why I think it makes them nervous. But
yeah, I get it.
Shoot whatever you have over, and we'll take a look at it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, just what you said, I've literally bought a property with a seller in the same situation where they're not going to buy. It's actually more perfect for them in the entitlement situation if they're not going to go buy something. We're not holding them back. And it comes off their debt to income anyways in 12 months. So let's say in 12 months, they have enough money for 3% down on FHA. Me taking over their loan payments is not going to hold them back. And I explain all that in my frequently asked questions page that I will also attach to the offer. It just answers anything that you or the sellers might have a question about subject to. It should answer most things, but yeah, I'm still gonna shoot both offers over. What's a good email you want me to send that to?
Sure, it's Kim@treasure.
I just muted him for a second, guys. Just wanted to make sure that we're not blowing them up. Joey can unmute when he's done. But guys, what did you hear in that phone call? It was so good. So good. My favorite thing is that as he kept going in this conversation, he just kept chipping away little by little. Wasn't pushing anything, wasn't saying, well, no, this is why they should do it. He just shut up and listened, right? Little by little, giving a little bit of rapport and a little bit of information. Did a great job. And you guys
says offering the cash, which is right, because it keeps the conversation flowing instead of, oh, nope, that's it. I'm creative only. See you later. Bye. So
right.
So you always have the cash open, even if you're not going to be able to make that offer. I mean, you still should have that cash open.
Good job, Joey. Yeah,
Great job.
You can always make the cash offer. They're not going to take that cash offer.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, make it so it really works for you. And if they take it, then hey, well, that's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And they can't take the cash offer because you heard the agent say that they have low equity, right? It won't make sense. But it was enough to build some credibility with the agent that you were listening to be like, hey, I get it. You probably get a ton of these. I'm going to send this over anyways. I'm going to send you my resources. It may not work here for this seller, but that way you know how we do business kind of thing, right? It was not pushy. It was not like, hey, you're dumb for not taking this offer. It's purely just saying, hey, this is what we do. This is how we do these things. Here's some information. See what your sellers think. If not, let's just jump on a call later.
That's
great freaking job.
That's a great agent for future stuff as well. I see a lot of that.
Yeah. When you guys, did I mute myself or did you guys mute me?
I did when she was giving out her email. I didn't want to.
She gave me 3 other listings.
I mean, goodness.
I asked her if she had any other listings where this would work. She gave me 3 others. One Aurora, Silver Hills, and the Cherry Creek. So,
guys, it's not rocket science.
I got a buyer on the Cherry Creek, Joey.
You know what? You guys can literally take that clip of that call and just write down the things Joey said, not in a scripted way, right? Just some of the responses that he gave back. It will help you tremendously on your calls.
And guys, if you don't know anything about creative financing, please do not try to pitch creative financing. Please do not. That's not what this is about. That's not what we're teaching here in the Elephant Challenge. This just so happened to be that type of listing. So when you are taking notes, just remember that if you do not know anything about creative financing, don't mention anything about DTI, don't mention anything about the loan being taken off and how this would work with entitlements. Let us handle those things. So that way, when you are educated or you get to that point, you can answer those questions effectively. We don't want you saying something that you don't understand.
I am calling about your listing on Meadow in Crestline. And I'm looking for a fix and flip in that area. And I was kind of curious. I can't see the back of the house. Is there any room for us to add another bedroom and a bathroom?
Maybe. It's an 8,000 square foot lot. You might be able to. Maybe on the side would probably be better. Hold on. I might be able to shoot some photos tomorrow. I'm having a yard sale to get rid of all the junk that was in there. Tomorrow I can try and shoot you some more photos.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Is this your house?
No, it's the owner died and it was a joint tenant, and the partner wants it sold and they didn't want anything, so I've been emptying the house.
Got it. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. So like I said, I'm looking for a fix and flip in that area. And so this house kind of caught my eye. I can imagine that this has garnered a lot of activity. Is that right?
Yeah, but it's a lot worse than I thought it was. So there's some wiggle room on that price.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And so when you say a lot worse, can you tell me a little bit more?
Well, there's holes in the walls, the tiles mismatch. You know, he did a half a job of granite, and then that porch, when it rained, it took in water. What he did, he took what used to be a porch, he tried to finish it into a bedroom for his daughter, his stepdaughter, and he didn't know what he was doing. And the water comes in when it rains, and apparently it's on a regular basis. So it really should be returned to being a porch again, or corrected. And I wouldn't know how to correct it. But it's the house is solid. It feels real solid.
Okay, cool.
It just needs a lot of love.
Okay, great. Is this your primary market up in Crestline?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you ever get other fix and flip opportunities? I'm looking to probably do a couple per month up there.
I don't know if we get that many, but you just have to keep an eye on the MLS.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to work with you directly too. I don't necessarily have an agent up there.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So-
I'll take some pictures and send them to you tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let me email you my contact information. What's your email address?
Let me mute that for a second.
He came out with the killer intro.
Yeah, he did.
I want to add a bedroom.
Yeah.
Gets her talking.
Guys, I mean, we're talking about cash opportunities, right? So this is just one way to start asking about the property itself. So it doesn't have to be this thought out, prolific thing that you have to say. If you don't have experience, don't know what to say, just ask them about the house. Hey, I see that door is painted a really interesting color. Who made that decision? That seems like really fun. I might want to get that color for myself. Right? Like, just make it fun. Find something about the property that you can speak on and ask some questions. That's it. Let's see. Dylan, you got anything that you like to add when you're making phone calls at all? Anything that you like to kind of hit on when you're discussing things with agents?
Yeah, I would say for Joey mute. If I'm new and I'm making phone calls, my conversations sound a lot different than if I'm making the phone calls. If you guys are out there making phone calls and you're new to it, I think exactly what Don said, just be curious about the property. The more information you can bring back to us to then go ahead and write an offer or call back and negotiate a deal is where I don't have to ask about the condition of the property. I don't need to find out the motivation. So I'm sure we've talked about it, but the 4 pillars, that's all you need to find on the first phone call. Why do they need to sell? Mike got that, right? The partner passed away. I forgot what they said, but he got the motivation right off the bat. And then he started going to the condition, right? And then your next one's how soon do they need to sell? And then he also got the price. He said there's a little wiggle room on the price. That is all you need. Now Mike can take the phone call from there. But if he's newer, right, he got everything he needed to now go and submit it to a leader. And then hopefully that leader can get it closed from there. But you just need those 4 things: price, condition, motivation, and timeline.
Yep. That's it. And we know what's funny is when you're talking with agents, 3 of those things you can clearly see for the most part for on-market properties, right? Because it's there. You have the pictures, you can see the condition, you have the price, it's up there, and you probably have the timeline because based on how long they've been listed, you know they want to sell this thing in less than 6 months, ideally, right? So you know that's kind of their general timeline. Maybe they have a longer timeline as well, or maybe it's really short and they're hoping it goes quickly. But the biggest thing that we don't have is the motivation. The motivation can be really difficult to get because sometimes agents are gatekeepers and do their job to protect their clients and try to hold that information back, which is fine. But sometimes it's really easy, like Mike did. Like just simply got the information from asking one question and she went into it. So don't beat yourself up if you don't get all that information from the beginning. It's just another excuse that you can call an agent, that you can call them back. Hey, Dom, I'm so sorry. I forgot to ask you this question last time, or actually I meant to ask you, I was doing my numbers and I wanted to make sure that I answered or asked this question from you, right? Or, hey, this popped up. Can you tell me about this? Doesn't have to be answered all in one phone call.
So what I did when it was crazy, right? When you couldn't get an offer in, everybody's been 100,000 over. I would make excuses just to call back that agent so many times. So I was the one that they were talking to and developed that relationship with, instead of one time and I got every bit of information I wanted. I didn't want all the information. I wanted every reason to call them back so they got to know me and who I was and trusted me and wanted to accept my offer over the 100 other offers. So that's a great point to bring up, Don. Good job.
And Mike, when he's on the phone, he likes to throw in some humor when he talks with these agents. Sometimes it lands, other times it doesn't. And
it very rarely lands, let's be honest.
I love it, Mike.
But it is fun. Especially if you're making 50 to plus calls a day, you have to kind of liven it up a little bit and make it fun. One thing that I'll do, and I did it there, I didn't do it intentionally. I did it because it's kind of late in the day and the brain's mushy a little bit, but sometimes just not talking, leaving a little bit of dead air helps because they have to fill it up, right?
Hold your lips, they want to talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she just kept on talking in some ways, right? And sometimes that just helps.
You wrote that property down, right? We're gonna call her back.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Now, guys, don't feel bad if you think, gosh, I can't do these things or whatever. It's like at bats. I'm going to tell you right now, if I started making calls, I probably wouldn't be as good as Joey right now because I don't do it every day. Even though Monday morning quarterback, I'm sitting back here listening, right? Because my brain is working very, very well watching this. But when you're in the call, a lot of times it's hard to remember those things unless you do it every single day and you really work at it. So it's like batting. If you ever played baseball, whatever sport you play, whatever you did, violin, whatever, you have to do it every day and get good at it. So that way it's second nature. Joey in the beginning, I'm quite sure we didn't know how to say all those things. So, but now he does just from the reps. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. And guys, you're going to be like, well, which ones do I call on? Which properties do I look at? You don't know yet, right? If they're 90 plus days on market or whatever your strategy is, that's who you call. And then you eliminate as you look at them. And over time, you'll get better. Be like, oh, no, that's not for me. Or, oh, I can already tell this is going to have a lot of repairs. Or, oh, maybe this doesn't quite fit the strategy that I want. You don't know that yet because you haven't been through the basic steps yet of just getting on the phone. Once you start getting on the phone, you'll start to get better at identifying the things that you do or do not want to look at. Someone put in here, Wendy asked, what calls do you leaders not want us to send your way? I think what you're trying to ask is what type of leads that we don't want. I think that's very specific to each individual leader. But if there's something that you want help on, send it to us. It may not be a deal for us, but if we're trying to help you get through a lead, we can at least point you in the right direction or show you how we would have that conversation. So it's up to each individual leader, but if you send us a lead or someone to call, then we'll do that. But I don't know how you and Angie's team does this, Dom, but
well, if it's not a here's what I would say. If it's not a lead and if you don't hear back from us right away, it's not a lead. So what happened was we get everybody submitting all of these things because people think the more I submit, maybe the more money I'll make. Yep. So those ones we treat it like an emergency room. The ones that are hot and ready to go, those are the ones who get responded to quickly and back to. But the ones that like you're just missing everything and they're really not a lead, they're going to sit there for a while. So don't think that because you submitted them and you didn't hear back that we're sleeping on them. It's probably because there's something wrong with the lead.
Or worse, Dom, potentially that that a deal was done, but we chose not to tell you about it. What I would say is that people wouldn't be up here today if that had ever happened.
Oh, we wouldn't be in this community. This community, correct. Our word is everything. Now, we may have made mistakes and have a disagreement here or there, but our heart's pure and true. Our word means everything. That's why we're in this community. There's hundreds of other mentorships and all that we could be part of. But everybody doesn't come in knowing that, hey, you're going to have some integrity in here or you're going to be out. So we don't bust our integrity for nobody. I would say something else, but we're on with 1,200 people. We don't jeopardize that. So we're never going to steal your lead. Trust me. We want you to bring 40 more. We want to develop you into something great. And then maybe you get on the team. It's been a godsend for us to bring people on our team because we're able to develop them right along the way. And they're able to learn and earn along the way. So we want you guys to eventually come with us, right? Or go on your own, whatever it happens to be. But yeah, we wouldn't be up here. Pace would knock us out. I mean,
we're not in the business of stealing deals. Okay. That's not what we do.
No.
We're here to give all of our experience and things that we've learned so you guys can get there faster, right? Now, like Dom was saying, is if you guys submit a lead and it doesn't move as quickly as you'd hope, there's a lot of factors that go into play with that, right? It could be the agent's not answering, we're playing phone tag, right? Or maybe the agent's like, hey, I need a few more weeks, call me back then. We had to
Sometimes
take it
it went
off.
under contract.
Or it went under contract, right? There's a lot of different things. We're not the only ones calling on these properties. There are thousands of other people probably calling on the same property, right? So give us a little bit of grace, but make sure that you understand we all have integrity up here and we're not in the business of stealing your leads. We want to make sure that we can get you to your first deal or your next deal as fast as possible. So just putting that out there. Now, is there anybody in here that wants to make a phone call? Say me in the
wait,
side
Dawn.
chat.
Somebody
Jackie
just
has
said-
2 leads. She
Yeah, I was
said.
just saying that. Jack said, I have 2 leads there in my listings. Please help.
Let's
Ooh.
bring Jackie up. Let's talk to Jackie.
Yeah.
Where is Jackie?
Isn't that funny how we saw that in a sea of
I know.
Like she's got 2 leads.
It went so fast. I got to see. How do we pull up Jackie?
Jackie Connolly.
Jackie Connolly.
Oh, we're putting you on the spot, Jackie.
Ooh.
That's all right. We'll help
Oh,
you.
that's the wrong one. Here we go.
Joey, the one I gave you, they have 100K to put down.
Jackie. Hi, Jackie. You got to unmute. Oh, where'd she go? She left.
I might have
I
scared her.
see her still up there.
There it is. Hi, Jackie. Oh, she unmuted.
For a sec. I see her trying to come on.
Let me try one more time.
It's okay if you have background stuff. We understand kids, dogs, stuff goes on. We don't care.
It doesn't bother us.
No, I was just trying to find the right buttons. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, I don't know where my camera is.
Let's see. You may not be able to show your camera here. Let me see that.
I'm oh good. All right, fine.
There
I
we
was
go.
fine with it without it, but
Jackie, tell
Perfect.
us about your leads that you have. They're listings of your own?
yes, like so I've been a broker 36 years and last year was not the year that I ever want to experience again. So I started doing more creative hope. I don't really do wholesaling. I'm more, we have listings that are coming to us and people need the help. We have a great listing and no one's coming to the table and she's open to doing something with us and we don't know how to move her on. Like she wants to move to South Carolina and the problem is she needs some money to get down there. And we don't know how to, we were talking about doing a sandwich lease and she was okay with it, but she didn't know how she was going to be able to get money to go on. So it's a great listing and I don't know how to save it to be able to do something with it.
Okay. Angie, what are your thoughts on it?
Angie.
This is terrible, but I was reading something.
Well,
can't read.
So you're saying you have clients that need to sell, it's not selling, and they need to find another place to go to? Is that what I heard?
Right. So my listings are to the point where they could be expiring in the next month. And I know there's ways I can help them. Another one, they own the property through their dad passed away. They're behind about 5 months in their mortgage. The property's worth the after repair on it is about $725, but in its current condition, it's really only worth about $400. And there's a lot of meat on the bone on that property. And we're coming to these properties that having situations where if we knew how to do other things, like even we have some land that we're looking at down in Marshfield, Massachusetts, and you could build $1 million property on it. And this lady is an off-market lead that we have, and we come up with a price, but we don't know what to do with it. Like who wants it? We don't know, where to go from here.
It sounds like you have the perfect opportunity for creative finance. I don't know if we're doing that in here, Don, because we're making those calls, but you're the agent, so you're already sold on it. So we just have to help
we
you
just gotta
formulate what works for them.
yeah, we just got to connect.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So connect
do
with
we do
any of
that?
us in here, any of the leaders, Angie and Dom is great, or us if you'd like. It doesn't matter.
Anybody you'd like to connect with, you
We're
can
happy to help.
anybody,
And-
any one of us will help. So
And I think that list went out. So y'all pay attention to your emails that may have went out. If I'm wrong, Carly, you can karate chop me. But I wanted to bring up a comment that I saw someone put in here, and I don't think your name is actually Hungry, but Hungry Gator said, Jackie isn't a baby elephant. She's been doing this for almost 4 decades. Okay, let's clear something up here. Guys, anybody can be a baby elephant. Just because you have experience on one side in real estate doesn't mean you understand the other side, and vice versa, right?
Correct.
So even
I
though
think
she
you're
has
brave.
decades of being in real estate, it's different than being on the investor side, right? So she may have real estate knowledge and experience, but not for what we're talking about here, right? It's different types of hats to wear. All right. So just be easy on each other,
Yeah.
right? We're all here to learn, all here to get better. So,
I
you
think
know, let's
Jackie's brave for doing
make
that.
sure.
Coming on and having, that's a lot of experience. But if you've never done creative, I had never done creative until I got with Pace. Angie had never done, and she was, I don't know, 16 years before that. So, we all learn something new. Well, you should be learning something new every day. So I think you're brave for doing that, Jackie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, reach out to one of us. Anybody that you'd like, we'll try to help you out and see what our thoughts are on the properties that you do have to be able to save these listings for you, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I didn't hear, Jackie, what was the pain for your seller? Like, what's their motivation to sell?
Couple of them are different. One has cancer. The other one, there's 3 siblings living in their house, and they're none of them are talking to one another, and they're 5 months behind in the mortgage, and they've got to do something with the property.
Okay, so that one I can help you with.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And so there's an email with everybody's phone information.
Carly just put the link to all of the leaders and all the leaders that are branded as the leaders for the Elephant Challenge in the side chat. So it should be a Google Doc.
Fabulous. Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Jackie. It's good to meet you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jackie.
All right. Let me see. I'm gonna be Pace for a second. Did I get it? I got it. I did it. All right.
Jackie's still on.
I'm working on it. Hang on.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you knew.
I'm working.
What's the Elephant Challenge about? I'm gonna start asking all kinds of questions.
Okay, let me see. I can't figure that out just yet. But it looks like Mike may be on a phone call. I don't know if he wants to. Oh, never mind. Okay. Who wants to make a phone call? I know we had me here in just a second, but anybody else? Oh wow, that was fast. Oh, this thing moves quick.
Me. How does
Let's
Pace keep
see.
up with it, right?
I know. Let's do Queon. I hope I'm not butchering that.
It's Kaon.
He comes
Kaon.
over.
Kaon like
Dang it.
crayon.
We know Kaon.
You know Kaon? Okay. What's up, Kaon? Sorry I butchered your name.
It's so good. I had it for 37 years, First one.
What's going on? You ready to make some phone calls?
Absolutely.
Well, let's
Yeah.
do it. Where are you at, Kaon?
I'm in New York, so I didn't know we was gonna be making calls this late, so I just started to look up some properties in Arizona.
Perfect. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's try that time zone and see if that works.
I have one set up. I'm ready to go with no ammunition.
Let's do it.
But yeah, so I have to invite them.
Amazing. And then let's see, I'm gonna go back up here. See if we get someone else as well.
Yeah, get somebody first, and then I'll come in after them. So
Let's
I'll have
see.
something set up. Is that cool?
That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna get one more person, maybe 2. Alyssa Barlow. Are you wanting to make a phone calls? Let's do. Alyssa Barlow. Hi, Alyssa.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Where are you from?
I'm here in Phoenix.
Oh, dang, you're in Paceland. I love it.
Yeah.
Have you made phone calls before, or is this your first time?
Oh, I've made them before.
Perfect. Okay, you ready to make some phone calls?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, just like Kayon is doing. Make sure that you are making those phone calls. If someone answers, then we'll all be quiet, okay?
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna get another person. Who hasn't made a phone call? Who's never made one that wants to make one?
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just
No.
want to let you guys know, because it hasn't been said, and I just want to set expectations. So when baby elephants submit deals to the Elephant Challenge leaders, Dawn, Angie, Dawn, I think all you guys, we all have an agreement that how the baby elephants will get paid out as bird dogs. It's not the entire deal. Can we just talk about that a little bit just to set everyone's expectations on how people will get paid, just so they're not like, well, I just want to make sure that gets clear.
Yeah.
And then Pace asked, we're going to wrap up in about 30 minutes. I don't think Pace is going to be back, but I'll get out of here, but I just wanted you guys to touch on that.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Angie, Dom, you guys want to kick that off for us?
So that's always the $1 million question, right? So, you know what, if you're brand new and you're just making calls and you're just bird dogging, you know, we usually pay between like $500 to $1,000 for if the deal goes through. Now, if you're, you know, a little bit more skilled and you can actually get the call a little bit further down the line, then we take that a case by case. If you're super skilled and you're just passing the deal off to us, it could be 70-30, 60-40, 50-50. It just depends on how much work you put in and how much work we put in. I like to think of everything as being equitable, right?
Yep.
So, you know, you lock up the deal, then there's dispo. So who did we have to pay in dispo? So all of that gets chopped up a little bit. So I can tell you this, we're always fair and true to everybody. We never want to take advantage. So if you put work in, you're getting paid for that work.
Hey,
Yeah,
Dom, you also missed a lot of steps in there too, right? So for example,
There's a ton of steps. Yes.
You know, it's negotiating, it's building that relationship, it's getting a property under contract, using the correct contract, having a transaction coordinator, submitting EMD, getting the deal closed, marketing it, and doing all those things. So there are a lot of things that go into these types of transactions that we can show you how that all works.
Good, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right, Mike. There's a ton of things in between, you know, saving the deal. A lot of times deals, you just don't go in. Do you sign? Great. We're going to close. Like there's all sorts of things in between, the inspection pieces, boots on the ground, knowing how to go to the next step when something's not, you know, something's wrong in the inspection, all of those things. And that's experience. So by partnering up, yes, you're going to get paid. And yes, everybody likes to make money, but the real benefit is you're getting to see real live deals right in front of your face. So your experience level will shoot through the roof, or you're going to have to go and try to find those deals. You couldn't close it on yourself, so you never got that experience. Then you threw up 10 times, you never got any of those 10. So now all of a sudden it's 10 months in and oh my God, this is not for me and it sucks. Or squad up with somebody and you would see 10 deals because someone's able to close them and walk you through it. And you have a big brother, right? So why we're so confident in the beginning is we had pace, right? We're like, okay, if we ran a little bit of trouble, we were able to go to our community and figure it out. So you have a big brother in this business, which is us. So you know that you're safe and we're going to protect you and make sure that deal goes through right.
Right.
Yeah, I want to say something too.
Go ahead, Joey. Go ahead.
If I had this, me, Dylan, Dom and Angie had this in the beginning, like an elephant challenge or teams that could submit offers for me and close deals, oh my gosh, would we be light years ahead of however long it took us to do it. I mean, if I just had to shoot a deal over where I just had one contact and then a team closed it for me and I got paid $1,000, oh my God, my first 3 months I would probably have made 30K. But we just didn't know how to close in the beginning, right? So I just think this is just awesome. I wish I had something like this when we first started. Yeah, I mean, it would have shot us way above, way quicker than where we are now. But yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, it's something that you guys won't know until you go through it yourself, is what it entails to go from calling a prospect, which is what we're all doing, right? It's not even a lead yet, it's a prospect. Then it becomes a lead when we figure out what we can actually do with it. And then it becomes a deal when we get it under contract. But everyone thinks, oh, it's fine. Once we get under contract and have a deal, then that's going to be easy. Guys, that's the hardest part, going from getting the contract to getting it to close. There is so much that you guys do not know yet on what is entailed. Like every little thing goes wrong. And when I say everything, it's not just one thing at a time. It's usually several things at once. No deal that any of us have done has gone by smoothly. Ever. I have not had one yet, and I'm sure Angie and Dom haven't. Neither has Pace.
That's true on
All
the
of
retail
them-
side. Yeah, I tell that we're going to get an offer right away. We're going to get people wanting to buy it right away, but which offer is the right one? We got to get it to the closing table. So nothing, this isn't horseshoes. So if you get close, it doesn't count. You got to
Right,
get to the closing table.
And Jody put in here, he said, oh, comforting. And I'm like, look, these are things that I didn't know. And so we're trying to tell you that so we set the proper expectations for your mind so that when you submit a lead to us, know that not all of those are going to get closed. And if they do, what's going to happen once we get under contract and what is entailed as far as the equitable work, the fair work done. And I'm with Joey. Had this been around when I was getting my first deal or even before this started, I could have had my deal much faster. If all I had to do was make a phone call and then give it to somebody else to run with and hope that it closes, right? And get paid $500, $1,000 just for that one contact. I mean, I would have been like, cool, I'm going to get 10 of those. I'm going to get 10 of those a month. It's no problem, right? But I had to learn the skills. And so, guys, when you are trying to connect with leaders and wanting to send us leads, we love that. Send us as many as you can. Our goal is to teach you how to skillfully start looking at deals or looking at leads better to identify them as an opportunity, right? Not all of them are going to be great off the bat. We're going to be real quick about it sometimes, but try to give you the education. Hey, this is why this isn't an opportunity. This is why this could be something. And then as things go, we'll try to give you that education as well. But just know that we can't pay everyone 50% of a deal every time, right? It's not going to happen. But our goal is to teach you the skills so that you can go and do these safely and properly on your own, right? Eventually. But we want to give you those skills to be able to learn that. Does that make sense?
And our real goal here is to eventually bring you guys who are in the free group as well into Subto, right? That's the real goal, right? Where you guys can learn creative financing in there. One thing that Angie mentioned here in the chat that I think is really important that everyone is aware of is that if you guys generate a lead, bring that to one team.
One.
Not to 5, not to 10, right?
It wastes
none of
our
us
time.
none of us will be offended if you choose not to work with us.
Yeah.
Right? We have plenty of people that we can work with. We know that some people vibe with other people, some people vibe with others. But we want to make sure that you guys, when you generate a lead, you bring it to one single group and they help you solely. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not in competition as leaders. We chat regularly, right? So we're friends first. Forget business, forget all that. We're friends first. So that's why it works. So doing that's not going to like go around and we're going to find out. And yeah, we don't play that game. So just submit it to one place. You're absolutely right, Mike. If you don't like bald guys, don't submit it to me. If you like people with wonderful hair, submit it to Mike because he has great hair.
Submit it to Angie. She's got the best hair out of all of us.
Yeah,
He always
she
gets
is.
compliments on her hair.
You
though.
better
And
compliment
guys-
your wife.
On that leader list, because I see people asking, how do we submit leads to you? Okay. On the leader list, we all have ways that you can get in contact with us. Then once we all get into teams, we'll all go through that individually with our group, right? So that way you guys get that more direct information. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Keep a lookout for the leader list. And it's okay to date us at the beginning. All right. Find out who you vibe with the best. But once you figure out a leader that you really enjoy, stick with them, right? Have fun with them. Doesn't mean you love us any less. Maybe it does. But if you do, that's okay. We got to find the people that you vibe with the most.
I like
We're
to
not
say
going to be upset.
grow some roots somewhere. You take one deal here, one deal here, one deal here. Now, all those deals, let's say there was 5 of them, only one closed, but you messed with 5 people. Well, wouldn't that be nice with one person that you brought 5, they worked really hard and one closed. Now you guys have that community, you guys have that relationship. So grow some roots, have your integrity, which I'm sure everybody does. We're just kind of giving you some rules and things that we've learned in the past. So yeah, grow some roots under your feet.
Hey,
Yes.
Dom, I think that's actually a great point. And I'd love to take just a second to kind of explain a little bit. What we've found is that baby elephants will tend to try something for a week or 2 or 3 and then figure out for them, for some reason, it just doesn't work. It's not working. Commit to something for a longer period of time. You guys aren't going to see results in a day. You're not going to see results in a week, right? It's going to take time to build up this momentum, and give yourself some grace to learn the process and also build up that momentum, because it's going to get to a point where it does tip, right? Where it's kind of downhill from that point on.
Right.
And most people fail because they don't push themselves to continue to stay on that path till they get to that point. So, don't go from multifamily to single family to creative to cash. Pick one and stick with it.
Yes.
Great.
Now, one thing to add to this, right? Let's say you pick a leader and you bring us a lead, and maybe it is multifamily, and you were like, hey, you told me to bring this to you. If it doesn't fit for us, we're going to point you who to go talk to, right? Another leader that is much more capable, or it's in their buy box, or it's in their strategy that they use. And so then we'll be able to do that for you. Okay. So we just want you guys to know that if a lead doesn't fit for us, we're not going to tell you it's not a deal and then it just sits there. We're going to point you in the right direction to make sure you get the help you need from someone that has much more experience maybe in that strategy than we do.
Yeah,
And there's
guys,
nothing wrong with that.
We talk, we hang out, we go to events, we know who does what deals, who's good at what, we help each other out. So yeah, we'd never tank a deal and just leave it laying there because we can't solve the problem. If there's a problem and it can be solved and we can't do it, someone in the community can, that's who we're going to direct you to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Carly,
we get a team, correct? Because people are asking, well, how do we get on the team? Who do we choose? Well, that's what this sheet is for you to choose. And then if you vibe with that tribe, you stay there, right?
Yep.
So
yep,
you guys can choose.
Use the next time between this week's elephant challenge and the next elephant challenge to bounce around and find the leaders that you enjoy the most. And then once you find the one you like, stick with it. It's not going to hurt our feelings.
Yeah, Michael Lobdell said, Joey, how much to join your team? It's $8
million.
grand, 8 weeks. I'm just kidding. Free. It's free, Michael.
There's no charge
All
here.
our teams are free.
It doesn't cost you anything except action. That's it. We only want action takers. So please don't show up to Zooms and just chill there, right? Be engaging, active, take that action that you need, because we want to make sure that you guys are getting out of this and we're not just some other YouTube video or content that you're consuming. Please utilize the skills and the information that you're getting from all of us so that you can get to your first deal or your next deal faster than we did.
Please don't be a knucklehead and complain. Like, just embrace what's happening. Stuff's going to be wrong. People are going to be late. Stuff's not going to start on time. All of the above, because that's just life and that's just business. And because we're doing all these things, that's what happens. So just don't be a jerk. Don't be a complainer. Just embrace what's going on. Put your best foot forward and just go after it. And leave the small stuff alone.
Yep.
To
Okay.
be on my team, you gotta have a mustache, though. That's the one rule.
Man, Dom, you just don't have hair anywhere. I mean, are you on the verge of being kicked out? Is that what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I can grow a stash though.
You can grow a stash. Okay. I gotta see this now. Now you have to grow this.
I did one once. It's hilarious. Angie has a picture. It's hilarious.
Okay, guys, did that answer your question about how baby elephants get paid, how to join a team, and make sure that you guys know what you're doing after tomorrow? Everybody good?
The question. She said, I live in Canada, markets Tampa area. Are there people with boots on the ground? Yes, we have boots on the ground everywhere, even I think Puerto Rico too. We're in every state.
Yep, and we have some connects.
And we have connects. We have deep connects. So we have relationships with them, not just somebody out of the phone book. I'm showing my age. Somebody just pointing to a number and calling them up, saying, hey, can you go check this house out for me? We have deep roots for you. So
guys, don't overthink it about who's good for LA or who's good for Cali. Just find the people that you vibe with the best and go from there. The leaders will tell you where they are and what they specialize in, and you can make your decisions there. But either way, we're here to help you. It's not about us. It's about you guys. So I
what
think
a community, Don. Holy crap. Look at this. Look what we get to do. We didn't know this stuff. Like we didn't have Zooms, we didn't have any of that stuff. So this Elephant Challenge has helped us build ourselves personally, which will help you build yourself personally. Look at this community of loving people. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's the truth because there's snakes out there. That world's tough. It's tough enough. So having this community is worth $1 million. Like the fact that you could join this for free, you guys, we could join for a small amount to Subto, and we're in this. That's tremendous. Like you can't find that anywhere else.
Nowhere. I mean, think about how many before even Subto, like how cold and lonely it was to try to figure this out. Like who you could go to ask questions and bounce ideas off of. I mean, there was
You couldn't
nobody.
ask anyone.
There
You
was
couldn't ask
nobody.
anyone. They wouldn't tell you anything.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
It's like the secret that everyone holds close to the vest, right?
Yep.
It's scary out there. But yeah, no, Dom, this is an unbelievable community that we're a part
Collaboration,
of.
man. There's just so many deals that come your way when you collaborate. Like we don't care. We just collaborate and make some mistakes, make some deals and learn and you'll be successful. But you have to try. You have to keep going.
It's the best part about this business is when you get to do deals with like 2, 3, 4 people. Like those are the favorite deals I think that we have when there's more people involved, right? Just getting to see that happen. So it's awesome. Okay, so I think we answered a lot of questions about just what to expect in the coming days and how you guys are going to get paid, how to find leaders. Guys, if you're in the side chat or you even see people in the Facebook group that are confused, make sure you help them out. Lead with value a little bit on what you do know and point them in the right direction to one of us as leaders, okay? Help them with their resources. I think we have a couple minutes. If Carly's okay with it, maybe then we'll ask a few or answer a few questions with people that have their hand raised. Guys, don't make them super long stories, okay? We want to make sure we get to as many people in these questions as possible. So I'm going to pull people up one at a time.
One question. If we join a group, are the group leaders doing a call next week? What is next step?
We are. I think
we are as well, Tuesday.
So I think a lot of us are. So it
Yes.
should be at some point. We'll connect with a leader on that list and they will tell you what's happening with their own groups. Okay. So you'll get all that information. I promise.
Sometimes things change because Pace is the nutty professor, right? Because he's the wizard behind the curtain. Sometimes
Yes.
things change, so we just change with it. We adapt with it. So it's not perfect, like I said earlier. So just be patient with us. We love you guys. We'll get to you. We'll make sure you have a good time, and we'll make sure you learn.
And then someone
helpful?
asked, how
ahead,
long
Andrew.
is the Elephant Challenge? It's going to continue for Pace at another year. So
You got us for a long, long time.
I've been doing it for a year and a half.
I cannot believe it was that long, from July of 22 all the way up until October. Oh my goodness. Now we're back at it. So guys, was it helpful to learn a little bit of how we have conversations with agents? Was that giving you a little insight? Maybe we were overthinking it a little bit, too much in our head about, oh, I have to be perfect. No, you don't. You don't have to. Just get on the phone.
Beautifully perfect. Beautifully imperfect. That's what it is.
Imperfect action. That's it.
Yes.
And if you're afraid to get hung up on or cussed at, you want that to happen as many times as possible, as quickly as possible, because then you can gamify. You're like, cool, I got my no for today. I got my hang up for today. I'm okay. Right? They're not going to come through the phone. They're not going to find you. They're not going to hurt you. You're still going to have your birthday. I think that's what Jose says. You're still going to have your birthday. You're going to be fine.
I love being yelled at. I have if you go to my Instagram, I got some content coming soon of a
Joey's used to it because
drug seller I was talking to. It's hilarious. You know what's funny is he called us today and he wants us to send him an offer, and he was screaming at us on the phone. So
that's because Joey has an Italian dad that coached him in his sports, so he's used to getting yelled at. I yelled.
Yeah, I'd take first, and then he'd say, "You didn't do it fast enough." I'm like, "What do you mean fast enough? What?"
Fast enough. Okay, so I'm gonna get some questions while we have 6 of us up here for the next few minutes before Carly kicks us out. Corey Stone. What's up, Corey?
Hey guys.
How are you?
I'm doing good. So I'm pretty sure I just got my question answered.
Okay.
But I'll just go ahead and state it. So I reached out on the Facebook team or the Facebook group, willing to do cold calls, find deals for, I don't know, 2-3 hours a day I can set aside. And I had a guy reach out to me and I talked to him over the phone, but it turns out he, I guess, worked for Matt Beard or is part of his team. And I
Okay.
guess they're not actual Subto members. So then I got to thinking, I was kind of worried because I wouldn't know how to protect myself. Say I get them deals and, you know, they're lying about it, or they cut me out of it, or they say, no, that didn't go through, kind of thing. But I've had several people reach out to me and that I've been talking to.
So
And-
did you put that in the creative financing group?
Yeah, so that was
Okay.
through the Facebook group, but basically everything that we kind of went over today kind of answered that for me, that that's probably not the best way to go. And
Yeah, they're not probably involved, right, with
Yeah.
the elephant challenge, or are they Subto students? So your safest bet is anybody that's on the list that Carly sent out. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that there aren't other helpful Subto students in the creative financing group, but just like you guys vet us, we vet you. Okay. So make sure you're asking those questions. Hey, are you in Subto? If they're saying that they are, ask them how long they've been in, you know, just getting that helpful information. And if you ever question it or your gut's telling you otherwise, trust your gut. Okay.
Yeah.
Just go with that. But I would definitely say that anybody that is on that list, you are going to be good. Yeah. Carly says trust but verify.
And nobody's charging. So if somebody wants you to send money, charging you for nobody is charging $1. You'll never. The only time money gets exchanged is when there's a closing, and that goes through title. So do not give anybody any of your money. Don't trust if somebody says, I'm Pace, send me money. I'm Dominic, send me. No, none of us will ask you for any type of funds ever.
And if somebody does from that creative group or the Facebook group, please tell us, let us know, or the leader that you're working with, who that person is, so we can handle it. But none of us are going to ever ask you for any money, ever. It's not going to happen. So we're not here to sell you anything. We're not here charging you anything. And if that does happen, please let your leader know, or let Carly know, or support. But yeah, we will not be doing that. I will karate chop them.
Yeah.
So, well, Corey, I hope that was helpful.
Yes, it was. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, let's do this. Oh, I'm getting this figured out. All right. Jody, I saw you said, hey, can I ask a question? So I'm going to ask you, what's up, Jody? All you got to do is hit the unmute.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, the unmute button was delayed. So
no worries.
Anyways, so my question is with Privy. I've been trying for 3 days to get it to cooperate with me, and all I keep doing is I get to the box. I just don't know how to get the lead out of there. It's like I get to where I can see all the comps and everything, but either I think they said, and I've watched the videos over and over again, and I'm trying to go along with them. I have 3 computers here going, what is going on? But anyways, so I don't have any leads in there, and I was wondering if somehow you guys are using Privy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, can I walk? Well, I guess I can't walk you through it tonight, but on a team, will somebody help me? I mean, I'll keep working at it, but it's like I'm just trying. I can pull listings, but am I supposed to be doing like putting in the ARV, pulling up a completed flip, and then comparing it with an active listing, or am I just going in there and pulling listings? And doing comps to see if they'd be good calls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we're just going in, right? If you're looking at Privy, okay. Let me see. Let me see if I can share my screen here.
Yeah, I got mine up too, but I'm so confused, and I spent like 15. All day long I'm messing with it. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah,
And then
Jerry G from
it gets
Jackson
big,
says
it
he
gets
can help
small. Where's my Privy?
Let's see. Was Joey, were you saying something?
Yeah, in the chat, Jerry G from Jackson. I just saw. He says he can help you, Jody. He says,
Okay,
that's
okay.
Yeah, that'll work. That's great. If that can happen, awesome. Or
Yeah,
your
no.
leader can help you do that as well. So that's That's an
Okay,
option.
I just didn't know if it was a quick fix or if anything, so I just thought I'd ask because I was getting really frustrated.
No worries.
But thank you.
See if I can get my computer to stop sharing here. But let's see. There we go. It's back up. All right. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you.
Get to a couple more questions. Todd. What's going on, Todd? Todd. See if I get to unmute. I'm gonna do a paste thing. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Man, I love this. I get to have the power. This is awesome. This is great. Okay. Let's go to Jessica. Ask her to unmute.
Can you
Oh,
hear
she
me
was
okay?
she was quick. Yes. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, I'm having internet issues, so I have my cell phone and my laptop up. So if I lose you on one, I have
worries.
network. But I just had a quick question about, do you guys have caps on your teams? Like how many people you can accept? Are there certain areas that you specialize in? Because some of them, I already read through everything. Some of them have specializing in like raw land. Another one had specializing in RVs. Some have multifamily. So depending on what we want to do, like I'm off grid, I like to do the raw land and flip those. It seems like those are kind of a little bit of an untapped marketplace. Are there certain specialties that you guys are looking for as far as that? Or is it mostly just based off of you're looking for a certain amount of numbers to join your team?
We don't personally, me and Mike don't care how many people are on our team or not. But if you found on that list that there's a leader there that fits for you, great. But other leaders could also have some of those same interests as well. So it may or may not be listed. So feel free to bounce around and ask. Or go with the ones that you see on the list. Dom, what were you gonna say?
I'll add to that too. We don't put a cap on it, and one reason is lots of people quit.
Yeah,
So
I
if
get
we
that.
capped it, then we said there's going to be, let's just say 10 people, and that's not the number, and they all quit, then you're done. So then everything's wasted. So we let the work filter out people, right? So the ones that want to stay, that are putting their best foot forward, will stay, and the ones that don't will maybe try again another time or whatever. So no, we don't put a cap on it.
And you guys did mention something about pay, about there's a certain incentive and stuff. Is that pay based off of W-2 or 1099? Like, do the taxes get taken out beforehand? Or do we become an independent contractor or our own business owner, and then we do taxes later on in the year?
Yeah, you would do your own taxes.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Everything's
I guess
voluntary. We don't require you to be anywhere, do anything. We would suggest the things to do, but we don't require anything from you. So you're a true 1099, and you'll be responsible for your own taxes.
I'm familiar with that. All right, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica.
Hi, guys.
All right.
Fun police is here.
I know. I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
I did want to answer one question real quick, because I've seen it pop up multiple times. Do you guys use a dialer or hand dialer? Guys, I use my phone.
Or burner phone, somebody said.
Yeah. I just use my phone. So
in Pace's words to the leaders and to the baby elephants, don't overthink it. We're not talking about dialers. We all use our cell phones. Some people can use dialers if they're pulling lists but we're newbies. We're not.
Just dummy up. I used to have a coach that would tell me that. Just dummy up. Don't act like you know everything, and just dummy up, right?
Dummy up.
You know everything. Dummy up.
So everybody, you guys got that list of leaders. If sub-2 leaders, if people want to be sub-2 leaders, they can reach out to me. But the people that get promoted in the Elephant Challenge are people that are consistent. Dawn and Angie's team both have been there since day number 1, a year and a half ago. So they get promoted. We have a lot of sub-2 leaders that they mean well. Their heart is in the best place ever. And as sub-2 students, our thing is we squirrel out and we're like, my family, we're all newbies. We're going to pet split. Like there's so many things so stay consistent, even as newbies and sub-2 students, stay consistent. If you are a top tier TC or a Gator, hop on one of those teams, because we are all going to need, our teams are going to need TCs and our teams are going to need money. So get on those teams and network with everyone.
And Carly has a team too, right? If you, no one said you, Carly, you need to.
It's okay. We
And
don't.
Carly
has a
I'm not
team
important.
too.
It's
She is
okay.
good.
Don't worry about me. I do
love
have a
Carly.
team, but you guys are, it's on the team. They're great team members.
Where everybody's good. All the leaders are great.
Everybody is really good. Just like Dawn said, date us. Come to
Yes.
my team and be like, Carly sucks. Don't want to go to her. Go into Angie's team. Be like, meh. Go to Dawn's team. Be like, okay, we fit right here. So date us. And we don't forget tomorrow, if you guys want to re-register, we did have a hiccup today. So if you have to re-register for the Elephant Challenge, it's all in the emails. Elephantchallenge.info. And if that doesn't work, so we've been having issues with it. Thank you, Alex, put it in there. Paystream or I'm going to pause the chat. Alex, can you put the re-registration link in there for us? Alex is amazing in the backstage. Can you guys give Alex and Dawn and Angie and Dominic and Joey and Dylan and Mike and everybody up here a huge thank you. It's a lot of work to come up to be consistent on this. It's hard to be consistent. And they are great people to know. Send Pace a thank you to on DM.
Yes.
I think he is the one that makes sure everybody gets promoted and thanked and everything. So go follow Pace and tell him thank you. Attitude of gratitude goes a long way with this group, especially Pace. I always tell our new Gators, I'm like, people that have 500,000 plus Instagram followers, somebody always wants something from them. Their DMs like, can you give me this? Can I have a discount? Can you sub to this for me? Give me. If you reach out to high people like Pace that have a lot of, and you just say, I don't want jack shit from you, excuse my language, I just want to say thank you. So Dawn's like, clean it up, Carly. Then you guys really will stand out by leading with an attitude of gratitude.
And can I add one thing to that, Carly?
Yes, please do.
All of these amazing leaders are doing this and coming in here without expecting anything from you guys. We're giving you our time. Okay. So please give us some grace. Give us, a little bit of time to get back with you. It may not be that day. It may be the next day, but give us some grace. We're coming in here not being paid. We just want to come and give back to the community to help you guys. So please have that attitude of gratitude. Give the leaders some grace. Give us time to get back to you, because we are running our own businesses outside of this, right? We are dealing with our own fires and deals, things that we have going on outside of the Elephant Challenge. So it's not that we're ignoring you. It's not that we don't like you. It's just that that's not a priority right that minute, but we will get back to you. So please, 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 please give us a little bit of grace. And we'll make sure that we get you all the help you need.
Grace
And I saw just a couple more questions. You can watch the replay of this on Pace's YouTube for the Elephant Challenge.
You will get an email. I'll put it in the
And you'll
group.
get an email.
I'll put the replays. I'll put it in the Facebook group, the free Facebook group. And I think that's it.
Is there any way we could take one question from somebody? She's been asking, please unmute me. Please answer my question. Dion Taylor, I think. Dionne.
You got it, Dawn?
Yeah, I got it.
Dawn is the queen of Zoom.
Hi, Dion.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I wanted to say, first of all, thank you guys so much for doing this, because I know it's taking time out of your day and you guys could be getting more deals. So I want to say thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Also, I wanted to ask a question, because I know you have a list of teams and you said shop around pretty much to see what team fits you. How do we get in touch with the different teams? Like, do we subscribe to your Facebook, or?
There should be something I put on here. Let me show you guys. I'll share my screen. The link that you guys have, and this is very important. Can you guys see you're seeing my whole screen. Let's just make it big. So it says, how do they want to be contacted? So if you want to go to the Dumbo dial, they got a phone number. If you want to go to the Lion's Den, they got a jot form. If you want to go to my team, we have a group. If you want to go to the Herd of Prophets, you can come here into their group. So section G tells you how the leader wants to be contacted. Go join all of them, shop around. So you guys should all have this in, we put it in the chat several times. I think John just put it in there. Everyone's putting the leaders list in there. So make sure you grab that.
And
Awesome.
guys,
Thank you so much.
thank you, Dion. Guys, before we go, and because I know that we got to get out of here, but guys, go and thank Pace. Make sure that you put something in the Facebook group and the creative financing group, tag Pace in it and say thank you, right? Tag the Elephant Challenge and
Shout him
just
out.
let him know how much we appreciate him, and put something that you learned, put somebody that you met, tag them, tell other people why we're here and how much we can help other people. Okay. So grab other people that are around you to do the same thing, but make sure you give Pace a thank you, send him a DM, go, if you're not friends with him on Instagram, then make sure you follow his page. But guys,
he lives on Instagram. So I'm going to tell you, if you want Pace to see it, DM him on Instagram, tag him, be like, take a picture of this, say, tag a picture, tag on a story at Pace Morby. Thank you so much for the Elephant Challenge. I can tell you guys, he spent 5 hours a day for 4 days, 20 hours this week for free. No, he's not. So, okay. Some people are saying that Luciano's and the Lion's Den don't open. I'll fix those.
Got it. All right, guys. Carly, you want to take us out?
Right. Thank you, everyone. Dawn's a killer. Angie, Dom, Mike, Joey, all the people. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a good day. Don't forget www.pacejmorby.com to re-register. We're having an issue with the Elephant Challenge link. We're working on it. We love you. Thank you guys for coming.